Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to FSP. This is Fun Speculation Podcast, episode number 63. Yeah, we're already on 63 of this show. I appreciate anyone being here live, or if you're listening after the fact. You all rock, and this is going to be a fun one. We're going to do something a little different today. We got the showcase for PlayStation to look forward to, so we are actually, I didn't tell you guys this as well, so surprise. We're going to make our actual official predictions here. So we'll go through and get a couple of predictions each for the PlayStation Showcase, because that's only 2 days away. We won't have another show until the PlayStation Showcase, although I will be streaming it here live. So make sure to tune in to that as well if you are able to. If you want to have some fun, watch us take in some PlayStation goodness. Hopefully we get some at that showcase. Plus also, we're going to give our top 5 games of all time, something we haven't done here on this channel. And we got, I bet majority of our games are going to be different for each one of us. So that's going to be interesting.
4 of us might have the same game.
One game. I think one game will be the same on each one of our lists, potentially.
Except for
I don't know about Fuzzy,
yeah. Fuzzy's going to be Forza Motorsport 5, Forza
Motorsport 2,
PGR.
And we're also going to take look at some of the news that's out there. There's some cool rumors going on right now. And then last but not least, we'll have Tidbits here on the show as well, looking at the games releasing this week. Did anybody say, I didn't even check Twitter because I've been scrambling. Did anybody, was there any games releasing this week? Like at all? Like, because I didn't even know this list. There's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked at our DMs yet at all, so I didn't know if I just missed it or if there was nothing, and I guess I just missed it.
We put it in the gaming chat.
Oh, okay. Group. Okay, got it. Shout
also,
out to
Decado.
Yeah,
his name fucked me up. He changed his name or something. I don't know. It's different, and it's like
it's Decado now. Decado.
Oh, Decado. Come on, Decado.
Decado. What's up, Decado? Everybody.
We're just getting used to saying your name.
Everybody here, appreciate you being here. I see AJH hanging out. Tom from Toonami hanging out. Antonio Newman, what's up? There's my beautiful wife, Caitlin. She said, it don't matter none. CBH4 God, what's up? Stash Gordon, how are you doing? Decada Ho, Luis Jose, Stash. Oh, I already said Stash Gordon. Sorry. The Hooded Canuck, what's up? Niturnal, how are you doing? Def Leopard, RSJ Fan, Mr. Ordinary. Oh man, Vik The CLiCK, Tom. See, I have a shitty memory, guys. I'm sorry. Hey, I think I got everybody. Appreciate you all for being here. Yeah, let's get into some intros real quick. Psycho, how are you doing, bro?
Doing fantastic. I've been working a lot, so haven't really gamed too much. I think I got on the other night and y'all like ready to go to bed or something. So other than that, what the fuck happened? Little Fortnite with you guys.
Yeah.
Still don't like it, but it is what it is.
Oh, we got some State of Decay as well.
State of Decay,
yeah,
very fun. I am very anxious to play, see how the third one looks. Hopefully that gets shown, because that it's going to be great. And I think I played. I think I finally played my PlayStation. It's been a couple months.
Yeah,
I think so. That's fun.
Well, hey, I got to ask something, because when you work extra, there's usually means one thing. There's a Dave Matthews Band concert within a few weeks.
There is.
Is there?
Well, July.
In July? Okay.
Yeah. West Palm Beach.
Nice. So you going?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Right on.
I'm not.
Does he just play the same songs like every time you go to? Okay.
No, he plays. I mean, the band has like.
I didn't know if he just played his like 3 hits and then is like, bye everybody.
Crash into me.
He plays his deep tracks is what we want. The songs that he barely plays. That's what we're clamor for.
What we as Dave heads like we.
They just put out an album, Walk on the Moon. If you guys are looking for a great little album to listen to, It's great because I listen to Sirius Radio, and they did he spoke to like describe each song, and the very first song, "Walk on the Moon" itself, was a song that he would imagine if he was walking through the forest and saw a mushroom growing on a tree, and he decided to pop it in his mouth, and that's what the song's about. So
This has been easy listening with Psychonauts.
yes.
This is so soothing sometimes.
Fuzzy, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great. Glad to be here with you guys. Been just looking at Twitter lose its mind before showcases and stuff, and
Right.
having fun with that. Playing my usual stuff: Gran Turismo, Horizon 5, Division 2, Undisputed, and Bejeweled or Jeweled, which is that mobile game on Xbox app, just so I
Yeah.
can get the daily rewards points. But
You're 50
other than
points, man.
Yeah.
Hey, 50 points is 50 points, you know?
yeah. But
Right on.
other than that, just glad to be here. Talk about some surprises, some predictions. It looks like some of the stuff that people were talking about for the showcase is already getting kind of like
Rampant.
yeah, well, there's some not reductions, but like busted dreams or broken bubbles, I guess you could say, with no co-op for one game and another game not being exclusive.
So we already all knew that. We've been saying that for a long time. But it is interesting that they reconfirmed it again for the people that were still anticipating co-op. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
3-bit, how you doing, bro?
I'm okay. You
Whoa,
know,
whoa, what's
I
going
think
on?
it's-
Whoa.
What- hey.
Whoa.
Hold on, 3-bit.
Where's the sniper?
What that? Yeah, like if you need something, just give me a call. I'm here for you.
No, it's all good. It's not even that. It's like, so I had maintenance come over my house.
He had to skip his workout tonight.
Right.
Oh
No, actually, I did work. I came back from the gym not that long ago.
You had a
But,
workout, but it wasn't at the gym. What?
No. I had maintenance come over my house, right? They've been here for like 3 weeks. And
That's just a squatter.
essentially
Yeah, they haven't left your house for 3 weeks.
they've been at my house basically 3
That's a
weeks.
homeless
they,
guy.
They cut a hole
Whoa.
well, they cut several holes in my
In your
downstairs living room. Oh, in my shower too, yeah, actually. And they've been patching it up and then doing this repair, and then me and my roommate discovered like, hey, they actually been drinking some of our drinks, like some of our White Claw. And then we had them like, well, you guys are not coming back because you guys went in our fridge and drunk our stuff. And we knew it because there was like paint fingerprints. It was like the most obvious thing. Like there was fingerprints all over the can. They even trying to hide it. So
This is only 3-bit.
talked to the manager and stuff today. It was this whole thing. And then I ordered some Smoothie King, right?
Uber Eats.
And as soon I ordered some Smoothie King, and I'm like, got my smoothies for today. I walked in my house and immediately spilt the whole thing.
Oh,
I didn't get any smoothies.
That's such a 3-bit thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, I see it on the ground. I'm like, I wasn't mad or anything. I was just disappointed, right?
I
Like
would
I
have.
really wanted that smoothie, but
Maybe-
that's my day.
You should have drank it in the car.
Well, they delivered.
delivered.
It was
Oh,
like 3 hours.
delivered. Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. So I was like waiting, and they're like, "All right, boy," and then I
I thought
walked
he-
in, and I immediately like all over the
Yeah.
floor. So
Mm.
I thought he was going to tell us
Yeah.
a story that they didn't fucking show up again like his Uber Eats during COVID.
oh man, that was crazy.
I'm just
Like,
glad you didn't
I have some
call
crazy
Uber
DoorDash
and
stories.
say it was the driver.
You know,
Hey, this guy he spilled my drink. You know, I didn't get it.
no, I would there.
No, I know
Yeah.
you're too nice.
But I do have some crazy DoorDash stories if anyone wants to hear one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my day. But hopefully, I'll get another
Well,
drink.
What about the holes in your shower? Did they patch those up, or is there like?
Yeah, I gotta ask. I mean, are these guys just actually secretly filming glory hole porn at your house during the day? Like,
honestly, they've been in my house for so long.
They invite these people over. They drink your White Claws and shit. Like, oh, we got to patch all these new holes. How did these holes get here? You know, oh, there's more holes in the bathroom.
Way too long. They've been in my house way too long. They need to not be here anymore.
What, do they spend the night?
It feels that way. I wake up, like, I remember I woke up, they scared the crap out of me, right? There's two things. I was like going downstairs making breakfast, and there was a guy literally behind me. It was the maintenance guy. I was like making breakfast, and then he was like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "What? Like, who are you? What are you doing in my kitchen?"
And was he holding a White Claw?
Probably the same guy.
Hey, what are you doing here? At 3 was like, "This is my house. What are you talking about?" Oh, okay.
And the guy's like, "This is my house.
Thanks for the White Claw."
They have the keys to my house, so they like been just popping in. Like, oh, I'm here to fix the wall. So I don't know.
It's holes. Holes keep forming. I don't know. We got to keep it. See,
I was literally
3 weeks
asleep.
To patch
this was
holes?
a bad one, right? This was a couple, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. I was sleeping. I just had my boxers, nothing, no shirt, nothing. And they basically like burst in the door. They burst into my bedroom door.
Oh, you're already ready for us. I guess we can start now.
They didn't think anyone was home. And they're like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like,
sorry. They're like, "What are you doing in my room?
What are you doing?
We're ready to shoot. Come, we got the camera set up in the bathroom."
I thought I was getting robbed or something. I didn't know what the heck was going on. But anyway, sorry.
It's definitely gotta keep calling management about this situation, bro.
Yeah, I talked to them today. It was this whole thing, but
well,
cheers.
Jasper, did you have any adventures today?
I didn't have any random strangers living in my house for 3 weeks, so
what about glory holes? Did you have any of those?
No.
That's good.
I watched all Star Trek Picard season 3 today, and then Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. So that's what I've been doing. Was watching. Movie was all right. Show was pretty good.
Dungeons and Dragons is pretty fun.
Yeah.
What's it on? Paramount Plus?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Roku had a thing where you get 2 months for 99 cents, so I just signed up for that.
Right on.
Nice.
I can just imagine 3 bits taking a shower and just some dick pops through the like, what's going on?
There was like this.
What is that? Scary movie?
3 bits like, what's that? I don't understand. Oh my god.
I've definitely been more paranoid these past few weeks.
This shower handle feels weird.
It won't turn on.
Oh, it turns on.
Oh, it turns on.
Oh man,
making me extra paranoid.
All right, we got to get off.
I know. I had a pretty shitty day this day to start out with, but I'm not going to tell you why. It was.
What did Kate do?
Nothing. Kate didn't do anything.
Okay.
But I'll just say it was shitty. It was a shitty
Just
morning.
one of those days.
Shitty morning for sure.
Your energy probably is the reason why my smoothie immediately fell out my hand.
Your dogs,
I felt your energy.
Your dogs didn't shit the bed, did they?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. That's
me and Kate had this lady.
Shitty morning.
We had this lady over that needed a place to live. Her name was Amber Heard. So we let her come over, and there's literally shit all over our bed within 5 minutes. I don't understand. No, that didn't happen.
It only took 5 minutes.
Did she find your jar?
No.
Jar, dude.
I don't. What jar? We all just were about to bypass that and move on to the next subject, but I gotta
I thought you were just gonna pass.
Yeah, we're all I just thought enough to know what he was talking about, but
I just assumed Psycho saw some jar that you had at your house. I was like, okay,
I was thinking like
jar. No, because Johnny Depp,
jar of dirt, like Johnny Depp. Oh, I got a jar.
Well, in the whole freaking court thing, they had a thing that Johnny Depp had a jar of cocaine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
A
really?
jar of cocaine. Like, yeah, that's why the whole jar of dirt, because that was supposed to be his cocaine.
I don't
that
have
was the
enough
whole
for a
meme.
jar.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
I said,
Anyway, yeah, let's get on and move past this. Hey, shout out to our buddy Pong Soul.
Should we just restart the show?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Welcome to FSP.
This is
everybody.
3-Bit's fault though, with one of his stories.
Hey, you wanted to know. My name was.
So shout out to our buddy Pong Soul, but it's kind of a sad day because today is the day where Pong Soul's announced officially that he's leaving the Xbox community. He is now officially PCMR, and he no longer wishes to associate with Xbox. In fact, you guys should see our DMs. He has been just nonstop trashing Xbox ever since he's got his PC. I mean, he's experiencing what he calls real gaming. And he thinks that consoles are the death of gaming and holding gaming back. And he says he can play everything now. Why even own an Xbox? I mean, you guys, he has been so toxic. It's insane. I don't understand what has gotten into this man. I don't know if he's even going to be on our shows anymore or what's going on with Pong. It is ridiculous, but it's just changed instantly. It's like ego check, man. I mean,
Pong's gonna create his own show on Thursday. P in the PC.
P in the PC. Yeah, he's in heaven right now, and he's loving it. So shout out to our buddy Pong. But we'll miss you, man. We'll miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Until the
just
next Windows update.
no, yeah, no, until his PC until Xbox Game Launcher won't launch. But yeah, shout out to Pong, and I'm just messing around. He's still bleeds green this generation.
That's crazy how he went from like having like I would argue probably the worst setup out of all of us to the best.
Well, you talk about his worst setup. He was literally using a Surface tablet that was bulging so much from the battery, like expanding, that the screen was coming off.
Yeah.
And now he has a better PC than anybody that I know.
Insane.
He's got a better PC than you, 3-Bit. Like you got a 3090 when it came out.
Yeah, it was good when it came out, but dang. Yeah,
this guy, I mean, he didn't just dip his toe in. I mean, that guy fucking submerged into the PCMR. So, you know, I'm super happy for Pong. He's gonna have a lot of fun with that thing, and I can't wait because guess what? It's also gonna help him with his podcasting and stuff. So awesome that we're gonna be able to see this new setup of his on our shows and stuff. So shout out to Pong. Love you, man. Happy for you. Super happy that you got that set up. Wow, guys. Let's get into some discussion here. So, Insider Gaming released some info today and I think I saw Jez kind of allude to this previously also, that these Metal Gear Snake Eater rumors that are going around, which is going to be a pretty damn big announcement if it happens at the PlayStation Showcase, which is what we're assuming is going to happen here, right? There was this whole rumor about this Konami deal where they got, not only exclusivity on Silent Hill 2, but potentially, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3 remake, and then also maybe a Castlevania. Well, it turns out, according to Insider Gaming, and I think previously Jez alluded to this because Jez had mentioned, I think, that he wasn't sure about the whole exclusivity aspect, that this thing looks like it's actually going to be multi-plat. So maybe not so much money had it exclusives here with Konami, and Xbox might be getting a game announcement at the PlayStation Showcase, kind of in a roundabout way, with Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3 Remake, which is going to be a pretty big game, I think. I wonder how many more of these big third-party games that could be potentially at a PlayStation show could be multi-platform as well. But that's going to be a big one. Is anybody here Metal Gear fans? I know 3-Bit is.
Yeah.
So is this one that you loved, or
Metal Gear 3? Yeah. That's when they started experimenting with like Snake being able to camouflage with his environment. The bosses are were really dope in Metal Gear 3. Yeah, I really liked 3. That was one of my favorites for sure.
Did that one originally launch like on a? Was it on PS3?
PS2.
PS2.
PS2. Okay.
PS2.
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
Yeah,
I didn't remember
that's-
exactly.
That
Sorry, Metal
was-
Gear 4 was PS3, right?
Was that the one where you had to
Yeah,
switch
Patriot.
controller ports, or was that the PS1 where you had to switch
That was
controller ports to
PS1.
fight? Okay,
Yeah, that was Metal Gear 1, which was
because I know
super
when they like
interesting.
remade some of those things, like some of those mechanics didn't work anymore because like the technology changed.
Yeah, that was Metal Gear 1. I still think they haven't ported that over properly, unless I'm mistaken.
I know there was
The
like a
very first
collection,
Metal Gear.
I think, on Xbox that
Xbox.
came
Yeah,
out.
360 had a collection of like 3 or 4 of them together.
Yeah, but those were just kind of sort of remasters,
Yeah.
subtly,
It's
right?
Yeah, I think it was like Metal Gear 2 and 3. And with 2, they combined it because there was different versions of 2. There's like a GameCube version where they added extra missions, and then there was the Xbox version, whatever. And I think they combined it for number 2 and put it in the collection, then 3. But I don't remember if it has 1. I don't think it did have 1. Maybe it did. But I know they definitely never did
Was
4.
it 2, 3, and 4 on Xbox
No,
360 collection?
4 wasn't on the collection.
They
I don't
never
think.
4 is still
Oh.
not.
Yeah,
I know there was 3
over.
games on that though. I thought.
I think there was
I thought so
3.
too. I'm gonna double
Was
check.
it
but I
was one
know-
of them like a Metal Gear, like a PSP game or Vita game? I think.
Oh, maybe that was the third one.
Acid.
They had the PSP game.
That was the
they
card
made
game.
A console. Let me just double check. But I know they never did
Let's see.
3,
It was
they never did 4 because
Metal Gear 2, Solid Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. So whatever.
yeah,
Peace
that was
Walker
the PSP.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
version. They never did 1 or 4.
Hmm.
So
this is gonna be a pretty big deal. Like, because I think this would be more like a full-on remake. The question is like, will it be? How much? Like, will it be fully fleshed out? Like, because whenever a new Metal Gear game comes out, it's usually like mind-blowing, kind of visually, somewhat, and they really go big cinematics and stuff now. Metal Gear Solid 3 was kind of really pushing the boundaries even at the time for that game. And
I wonder if they do like the
it
Final
definitely
Fantasy
needs an
7
update.
route.
I don't
like
know. Yeah.
they-
But the thing is, Kojima's probably not involved in this at all, right?
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. Like,
no.
because if they take like what they've learned with like Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's like super open world, like if they combine that with Metal Gear 3, like you don't have to have those loading screens and levels anymore. You just kind of it makes it all one
And
game.
the forest is kind of, if you like back in the day, it was pretty big, right? When it came out, like because in Metal Gear 3, you're running through a forest, you are trying to there's like poisonous animals that could bite you, and you need to treat the wound and find materials and stuff like that. It was really cool for its time, but for its time, the forest was very constricted. Like you're going down like pathways and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
Like, I think if they do like a remaster, it might be more like Final Fantasy 7, where the game's almost completely different.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
That's what I hope,
if they would just
actually,
do-
in a way, because kind of keep the story elements there, right? Because that one was a really big, important game for where the story ended up going within Metal Gear. If you can understand the story at all, but like within where they went, that one really took them into another realm of like craziness, right? And then, it's like a prequel, really, to the other games,
Yeah.
So
I think Snake
this
was
is gonna be really
technically
good.
only in 1, or he was.
Oh, he
only
was in more than one.
1
but-
and 2.
Yeah.
This is Big Boss.
Yeah, this is Big Boss. This is like I don't want to give spoilers or whatever, but anyway, it's a big deal. Psycho, you were saying something like, did you really like Metal Gear 3?
I did not play it, even though I had the Metal Gear 2 and 3. I had the HD.
Yeah.
Just had never played it. But it was more my ex's kid. He played it mostly, was why I had it.
Yeah.
And he loved the shit out of it. I played the first Metal Gear. I played the Phantom Pain, and was it Sons of Liberty that was on the HD? So Phantom Liberty, that one I played. I played the first Metal Gear and Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain was weird. That one I didn't like too much, only because
that was the one leading up to 5. They were testing all the mechanics and shit, right?
Ground Zero.
Oh, it was Ground Zero. Okay.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4. No, 5 was Phantom Pain. Wasn't it? Yeah, 5 was Phantom Pain.
5.
What was 4 called?
4 was the Guns of the Patriot.
Yeah, so 4 was like there was just too many damn cinematics in 4. Like the gameplay was good, but like it was like hour-long cinematics. It seemed like you just sit there for fucking ever. It was crazy, and then you go and get like 20 minutes of gameplay, and then another,
Power of the PS3.
But it was still entertaining. I enjoyed it. 5, I never finished it, but I still really like the gameplay in it. It's just almost like too big for Metal Gear for me in a way. Like I kind of almost like it a little bit more level based in some ways. So I hope it's more of like a cross, between
and I played
3 and 5.
And I played Metal Gear Rising. I love the fuck out of Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah.
That with Raiden, that was fucking phenomenal. I would love to see a sequel to that game, but we'll have to see, because I don't think that one is made by.
Well, didn't you play as him in
at least favorite
Revengeance or whatever it was called?
That's Rising, right?
Oh, okay.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That's the name.
That was the one made by Platinum.
Yeah.
I thought everyone hated that game.
No, it was pretty popular.
Metal Gear Survival, because that was
Metal Gear Survival.
We don't talk about Survival.
Yeah,
but Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, like people that were traditional Metal Gear players weren't excited for it.
It was
they
more
didn't
like
it.
Devil May Cry-ish.
Yeah, it's an action hack and slash.
Yeah.
like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And
But it's a great game. It's one of Platinum's better games.
yes,
That, and they also had that game Vanquish that came out around that time. Platinum was on a roll around that time. This was kind of some of those games that made their name, and Rising Revengeance was definitely pretty good. It wasn't like amazing, but it was pretty good.
My least favorite was probably 4 in terms of the main storyline and everything. Like that's when a Snake got pretty old. They introduced mechanics like I don't know. When you're talking about the cutscenes, there's definitely a lot of cutscenes, but that's like almost to be expected in a Metal Gear game. Yeah, like you walk a few feet cutscene, cutscene. It's very narrative driven, like very heavy narrative driven game. But there's something about 4 where I couldn't get through it properly. I beat all the Metal Gears. I beat 5, 3, 2, and 1. And I could not do 4. It was just I don't know.
Well, this will be an interesting test for Konami, because this will be the biggest Metal Gear release that they would have had since Kojima is no longer with them, right? So I'm curious about how that's going to go. Fuzzy,
did he help on the last one?
5?
The one, did he help on that?
Yeah, it was his game. Yeah, that was his last one.
That was his game. That was his last game.
After the game came out is when the whole shit went down with Konami, and
because I thought they put out Survival after him. That was the one they put out.
Yeah, and you clearly saw like how bad it was without
his vision.
Influence. His vision and everything.
Fuzzy,
like 5 was his last one, and they actually cut out a big portion of the end apparently because
Fuzzy, is this like I mean, I don't know if are you into stealth games at all? Like, do you even like Splinter Cell? Like, is this something that
I'm into stealth games, but I never really bothered with Metal Gear. Like Metal Gear 5 is one of those I downloaded. I forget if it was like one of those free PS Plus or games with gold deals, but I never wound up playing it. I think when 5 came out, I was playing Ghost Recon. I think
I know
that's
Ground
about the
Zero
time.
was games with gold at one point.
Yeah.
Ground Zero was cheap
It's like an
to begin
hour
with, or
long.
free or
Yeah.
something. Anyway, it was free. I think it was just a demo.
Was it?
I think it was a demo. I think it was free. It could, or if you
Well, I know
pre-ordered
it had
or something.
achievements and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
could
can't
beat it in
remember.
like not 1 hour. It's
Yeah.
like one mission or something like that.
Ground Zero is fucking awesome though. I loved it. Like as far as like a precursor to 5.
Mhm.
But yeah, go on,
Yeah,
Fuzz.
like-
No, I think there was other open world games that I was playing, and I think around that time, Ghost Recon Wildlands might have been that game. And it was like a choice between the two. I think I went Wildlands instead. But I'll see what this one looks like. Like I think the main thing was at the time when I was able or would have been able to play a lot of the earlier Metal Gear games, I was more into like the not really flight sim, but like the F-15 and F-14 Tomcat like flight simulator or dogfight, PC games at the time. So that's I think at that point I was more into that stuff as opposed to like, stealth games on the earlier stuff.
Yeah. I was always kind of into Metal Gear, but never like a super Metal Gear fan. I was more of a Splinter Cell guy. But like, I miss stealth games in general right now. You know what I mean? Like, there's really nothing out there that really wets the whistle. So this will be
kind of just dying out.
yeah. I mean, but we have a couple of ones on the horizon between Splinter Cell remake supposed to be happening at Ubisoft, and then this remake would be great. I wonder what that means though for the future of Metal Gear, and but this could also, if this is not exclusive, also the whole Castlevania rumor could be a thing as well. The only question we would have about Castlevania though is like, what kind of game is it going to be? Because is it going to be like a
2D
traditional side scroller, or is it going to be an action one, kind of like they had with Lord of the Shadow? Or what I am going to guess, my theory on bringing back Castlevania is they would do it as like a Souls-like game, because I think it would kind of fit almost in that genre. Do it like in between, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when that comes out, but or if it's true anyway. But Metal Gear could be a big announcement, but that's only one aspect of this PlayStation show that we can kind of predict, right? So let's get our thinking hats on. Fuzzy likes to read the tea leaves and stuff, and we'll start with Fuzz here. Like, I want to get, this is the last show before our stream of the showcase, so I want to get some actual predictions. So I want like 3 things that you're saying is going to happen at the showcase, Fuzzy, but one of them, it's got to be a little risky.
Okay. Well, I've put this list together just kind of looking at what Sony's been doing and some of the stuff that's been whispering in the background from them. Factions has to be there. Like, this is like they get docked 3 points on the showcase if Factions is not there. Like, the rest of it could be a 10. It'll wind up being a 7 show if Factions.
They got to remake 2 first.
Is that just because you're actually excited for Factions, or what?
It's what my kids are most excited about, because like that was the only real game, that and the multiplayer for what do you call them, for Uncharted, the last one. That was the only multiplayer or the only games on PlayStation they really cared about. So that's part of it. And if it's going to be a bigger game where you're going to be going through different towns, setting up bases, kind of like what I would expect out of Division 2, but with zombies or with clickers, I guess you could say. I would like to see that, and I hope that's kind of the direction that they go. But it's been enough time where it was supposed to be released shortly after The Last of Us 2, and then that's come and went, and it's about time. So
Fair enough.
that should be there. Another one that's going to be there, it's going to be another games as a service. This one kind of got leaked, didn't get the best reception. I was hoping it would have been more of like a Monster Hunter clone where it's the same graphics as the current game, and that's the Horizon, games as a service, where unfortunately it has kind of like a Fortnite look to it, which I'm not the biggest fan of compared to the regular Horizon games, but that should probably be there. They need to at least show some of these, games as a service kind of deals, coming up. And then the last one, I think I may have mentioned this one before. I know Bungie has two projects. I'm gonna just say Marathon, the one that they're possibly rebooting, not the one that was supposed to be the immediate next after after Destiny 2, but I think they were supposed to look at rebooting Marathon to be like that, kind of like Escape from Tarkov or an extraction shooter type of deal. So I'd be curious to see if that one makes it in, if that one's even far enough along beyond like storyboards and stuff. But that, I would say that's probably the riskier one, or the one more out on a limb out of the three.
Okay. Will Marathon play just like Destiny and Halo? Like a cross between the two, probably? Like
probably, but having like probably like certain zones where there's going to be extreme loot you have to extract out type of deal. So expect Escape from Tarkov with armor that looks like Destiny, or a little bit of Halo, or a cross between the two kind of thing.
So is that your risky pick?
Yeah, that's the risky one.
I think that that would be a cool announcement. That game should, according to Bungie's words, also be multi-platform. Right. Yeah. So there's a couple, even if you're an Xbox fan, right? Or if you're game wherever else, like there's still stuff that could be at this show that seems to be exciting for you as well, right? So I recommend tuning into the PlayStation Showcase, even if you don't own a PlayStation, right? And because you may get some cool nuggets in this thing, and that's usually the case at some of these PlayStation shows, to be honest. Because some of the multiplats they have there are kind of gonna show up everywhere, especially because they have big marketing deals on big third party games a lot of times, and those will show up. So you may have even a big third party game reveal that's there as well. All right, what about you, Psycho? I need three things, but I need two safe ones and a risky. I mean, you can go all risky if you want, but like at least one risky.
Well,
you will be graded and judged,
depending on how right you are.
Ghost of Tsushima 2 is what I would like to see. It was my game of the year in 2020.
Okay,
so
that's pretty risky. It's fine. You're going for broke. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, we're more than likely get a title card, because I think this is either they're going to go all out and do hopes and dreams, kind of like what they did in 2016, or they're going to be safe and just show what's
It's like
known.
you did sign the waiver before the show where Matt said if we get all our guesses wrong, we're no longer part of the family, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
You can join Pong.
Yeah, I can join Pong in the PSMR. I think we would see possibly see, this is like I've heard other people, but Twisted Metal possibly just because of the show. Usually if there's a show, it's gonna strum up hype for a game that's probably gonna be announced, so it's gonna go hand in hand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense. A little safer, considering considering Grubb said that I think that the first one ain't happening, but it's okay though. We'll keep moving. I didn't want to tell you that.
Oh, I don't give a shit what Grub says.
The man literally said when the show was gonna happen.
He
Yeah.
did. I have to give him props
I mean,
for that. 'Cause I was like,
sometimes a squirrel gets a nut. Just kidding. Sorry, Grub, if you're not watching.
There's no chance.
Third one, I would say, fucking SOCOM. Let's see if Sony has the fucking balls. Let's see
Man.
if Sony has the fucking balls to be like, you know what? We don't need Call of Duty. We got SOCOM.
Psycho
that
went
one.
for his own hopes and dreams for this prediction segment.
Man,
they add SOCOM, they'll probably have a story mode where you save a kid and you bring the kid along with the.
And
But-
you just yell Jason the whole
and,
time.
it'll be all single player game. It'll
Yeah.
be a single player game because, PlayStation dudes don't like multiplayer aspects of games. They only like, co-op. Oh, fuck that bullshit. Don't need that in the game.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, I like it, man. I like it. You're bringing the heat, putting some pressure on PlayStation. You'll love it.
Yeah, they need it. They need
3-bit.
to innovate.
Put that bitch drink down and give me your predictions.
Oh!
Throw it on the floor like your smoothie.
Oh, hold on. Let me finish my truly.
Let me finish my truly.
Fuck off with that.
Hey, I had a Cayman, but I finished the Cayman. I have 3 safe ones and then 3 kind of out there ones. My safe ones is factions. It has to be there, right? It
That's
can't
a safe one?
To me, that's safe.
Oh.
Factions is safe?
I would hope.
Yeah.
Where the heck is it?
I will say this to that. If they don't show factions at this showcase, there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of questions.
No, they ain't. They'll be like, "Oh, it's still in the works. This is the best game ever. We just got to give them another."
Sony
Right.
cooking, probably something like that.
Yeah.
My second one, which either can be safe or not safe, but I'm gonna put it in there anyways, is Wolverine, because it's supposed to come out next year, according to them. So it makes sense to show it this year. Whatever they got cooking up for that game. My last safe one is probably Silent Hill. It's not really first party, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to probably expand that a little bit here at this showcase. My sort of, it can be out there, but it's up for debate. The God of War DLC at the end of the Ragnarok, they kind of hinted at where the story is going, which they can expand upon in not a third game, but it makes sense to expand upon it in maybe like a smaller story version, which pretty much what Ragnarok is, but on a much grander scale. But I feel like God of War 2 DLC, they can kind of go into some things they kind of hinted at the very end of the game. The Ben Studio game.
That was mine.
How many are you doing here?
3. That was the 2. So factions was my
He
safe
did
one.
3 safe. He's doing 3 risky. Is what he said.
3 safe, 3
Oh,
risk.
okay. I was like, that's 6.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I had to add some. The Ben Studio game, I have a feeling that might be there, even though they were a support studio for Naughty Dog. I'm pretty sure for factions or something they were working on.
Again, if you look at
but-
all PlayStation shooters, they help each other.
Yeah. So, but maybe they were like helping you, like, okay, we're going back to our stuff. So whatever that project is, and the last one, I'm hoping they impress me with this is Killzone reboot. But that's my crazy one.
By Gorilla?
Yep. Like after
They've been helping on a bunch of VR stuff lately.
Yep.
so maybe not.
Yay.
That's my crazy one.
Okay, fair enough. Love it. But again, kind of putting some pressure on with Psycho. Y'all want
step it
some
up.
of these more classic franchises brought back, apparently.
Stop messing with the same third person. I want to see some
Yeah,
some new
different
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Jasper, the pressure's on, buddy.
Yeah, so my risky one was going to be the Ben Studios one. I think that game that was announced like 2 years ago that they were working on a new project. So I don't know why everyone keeps saying support studio. They've said they've been making a new AAA game ever since Days Gone came out.
Because Sony called them a support studio. That's why we call them a support studio.
They announced they're working on a new AAA game. It's using the same kind of tech that Days Gone did. It's that open world stuff, but they said they want to do more kind of like stealthy stuff with it. So not Splinter Cell, but going back a little more stealthy with it. So that game would be a big surprise if we do see that, and I think that would be a good hype maker for Sony if they can get that out there. Safe pick is Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. They own the Evo League, so I'm assuming that they have all the fighters already lined up for their show.
I think an exclusive fighter PlayStation.
The fighters won't be exclusive, but they'll have like just the marketing rights and stuff. So it's another. Do I want to go another risky or another safe?
You doing risky first?
Yeah, I did risky first as Ben Studios. I think that's. I guess. Do we get? I'm betting this made me a little more out there. So I'm betting Insomniac shows 3 games. They show Spider-Man 2, the final trailer with the release date. They show Wolverine, and they announce a 3rd game because Insomniac likes to pump games out.
Another Marvel game?
Yeah, not necessarily Marvel. They're just like another game in the works, maybe a Ratchet and Clank or something, but just to get that hype going for 2026.
What about a Sunset 2?
They have been teasing Sunset, so
yeah.
One of my
That
theories
cool.
that why Drew Murray could have went back to Insomniac was to work on a new Sunset Overdrive, because that was kind of like his baby, right? And you know, they did just tweet about Sunset Overdrive.
Was that the anniversary or something, or was it just random tweet?
I don't know. I have no
I've
idea.
been doing a little bit more tweets lately, just like Sunset, just reminding people that they have it. Yeah.
But I'm betting that Insomniac shows us something that's farther out, just because they usually like to start hyping their games out a couple years before it actually comes out. So I'm going with Insomniac shows 3 games. That's my predictions.
Right on. Shout out to RazorNZ with the 5 gifteds. Appreciate you, and congrats to everybody who got one of Razor's gifted memberships there. Appreciate that, man. And everybody. So for me, I'm gonna go with a couple of safe ones first. Okay. Now, one of these is kind of not extremely safe, but based on recent events today, another potential rumor out there that you guys shared this with me in a DM. I don't remember. I think it was you, Jasper. It shared it today. Was it the Snitch tweeted?
Oh yeah.
Tic Tac, right? Now, if you tuned in to PM in the PM, I think it was on PM in the PM. Me and Paul kind of went through the show, and I kind of gave some hopes and dreams on it, right, for what I would love to see. And one of them was Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay,
it was part of the NVIDIA leak.
Yeah, and so we know that the NVIDIA leak was proven to be 100% legit, because there's almost everything that was part of that was significant has come true so far. Even the other Tactics game from Square, Ogre Tactics remake.
I think the only ones that haven't really come
remaster.
true are some Microsoft properties. Like I think Halo 5 PC was on that list, but we never got that.
Right. So Final Fantasy Tactics was on the list, and for me, it's like if Ogre Tactics was right, then Final Fantasy Tactics is going to be right. The question I have is like, how much will they put into it? Because that's a special. And we'll talk about this with our all-time games list in a little bit, but that game and my thought process on that game is what inspired me to do that for the show. But I'm going to go ahead and make it one of my safe bets, because it was Final Fantasy Tactics was originally a PlayStation exclusive. It did go out to like DS later and all these other things, and mobile and all that stuff, but with the different versions. But originally it was just on PS1. So it could, if it was to show up at a showcase, Square's relationship with PlayStation, right? I think that would make a splash, especially with the other Final Fantasy things going to be there, because I could bet we're probably going to see Final Fantasy 16 at this show, right? So you could follow that up with also Final Fantasy Tactics, and that would make for a pretty good moment. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and based on Snitch's tweet saying Tic Tac, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Final Fantasy Tactics will be there. I'm putting that safe. It's risky, but I'm putting it in safe because of the Snitch. You can blame the Snitch if I'm wrong.
I mean, if he's wrong, he'll delete his tweet in a day or two.
Probably so. So second up, this is something that I think is going to happen.
Is this safe or crazy?
This is safe. This is safe so far.
Okay.
This is something I feel pretty safe about, and that's that we're going to get some kind of new announcement from Bungie as well, right? I don't know which one it is, but I think they
have a lot of stuff in the works. They have like 3 TV shows and games. So
it was a big acquisition for Sony as well, and we've yet to see their presence at a big PlayStation showcase besides Destiny trailers, right? So this is the time. It's been a while. You know, I think you're going to come out and announce one of their new games, or
they're going to do
a new game.
It's either that or they're going to be super lazy because the new season comes out, I think, tomorrow, and they're just going to show like a season trailer.
That's possible too. You know, but I'm hoping, and I think that it's safe to say that because they acquired Bungie for a reason. Like it, you know, we talk about Killzone, talk about SOCOM, talk about all this stuff. Bungie fills that shooter aspect for them, right? That they can have a company with a proven track record of launching successful shooters now and promote it at their show with a new IP. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Said they bought them so they could learn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
at least that's what they said.
And they got a slam dunk IP with whatever they announce next. I mean, it's Bungie. It's going to be successful in one way or another. Like, I mean, I would be hard pressed that the next Bungie game won't get a lot of excitement. So I think that we'll see that there. I don't know if it's Marathon, like Fuzzy said, or if it's going to be the Project Matter game, but it'll be one of those two. I'm staying safe by saying something, right? And then for the risky pick, and this is like something I keep going back and forth on because I don't know what to expect because we only know a couple things from PlayStation. Like we know like factions, like that's a safe one, right? We know like Spider-Man 2 is going to be there, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be there, you know, like all these things. We know that Bungie's working on a couple projects, you know, and those and that kind of stuff. But like you guys said, we don't know what Ben's working on. We don't know all this other stuff. But what I'm going to say is we're going to see Cory Barlog's game, the space game. Because this,
is he working?
Yeah, this is going to be the hopes and dreams type show, and that's going to be one of their biggest new games that they have for a year. If that's going to hype, they're going to want to hype this up for a couple years, I think. So, I think we're going to see Cory Barlog's next game at this show. His big space sci-fi adventure, whatever.
There was that leak that people thought maybe been Peoples Can Fly's next sci-fi game like 6 months ago or whatever. It was like the leak was like a dude like on a balcony and you saw like a giant worm creature in the background, and that was kind of like a sci-fi game. So we haven't seen that. So I think they also like are kind of close to PlayStation with that. So
yeah. Well, this one would be Sony Santa Monica. Wait, no. Which one is Barlog? He's
Sony.
He's Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Right. So, and he wasn't working on Ragnarok because he's working on this game. So I think it's time for them to reveal that. If I had to throw in one safe bet as well, you will see at least some kind of other inkling, other piece of Wolverine.
Yeah, because it's supposed to come out next year. That's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah,
Wolverine should be there. It is kind of crazy that Insomniac is working on like 2 pretty big AAA games, but I do know they doubled their employee count, and they are very talented studios, so I'm sure they kill it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are pretty good guesses. I do know something that is not in our predictions is like, I think we're underestimating how many third-party games are going to be there.
Yeah.
Also, like right now, we mentioned a lot of the first party, but let's just really think about Sony's game plan here. They are really putting some money into these third-party.
Well, I mean, you know, Final
studios.
Fantasy 16 is going to be there.
How
You
many
know,
minutes
yeah,
of
that's probably-
PSVR 2 shit? 10, 5,
10 to 15.
10,
20.
15? Oh, 20.
10.
Good
I
God,
think
better not.
I think they're going to start cutting down on the VR push because I think they saw it's not what they thought it was. I think they're going to start slowly abandoning it.
Yeah.
They have to support it obviously for the next couple of years, but
Yeah.
I think they're slowly going to start
Like
abandoning
Jim Ryan said, it's still an unproven thing or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
They made a lot of money on PC, and they still said not day one. I don't know how much I believe.
yeah, they're almost doubling back
Yeah.
down. You know, we've had a.
it.
There's been a couple.
There was that
interesting
rumor of like 10 canceled games, wasn't there?
things. Yeah, they
Something like
canceled.
that, yeah.
They canceled some stuff, but like going even further into this, they recently had an executive. I forget what his name was, but somebody at PlayStation was like, you know, a future where everything's live service sounds really boring, right?
Yeah, it was like the CEO or president or
Right. So
something.
you had that combined with you had multiple like games that were supposed to be some of these live service games, like one after another, kind of get canceled. Right. Like we had the Deviation game that they were working with. Then there was a Fire. Not Firefly. Fire Sprite game. Yeah. Or
something.
Firewalk. Yeah. I think it's what it was. Their game supposed like it was canceled. Then you had like layoffs and stuff for like some of these studios. I can't remember the specifics of these, but like it added up to like maybe 2 or 3 games of like these type games getting canceled. You had the comment from them. Now you have as well like the article that came out where they're in the interview where they said like, well, we're not going to be releasing. Don't expect games day one on PC. Even that almost contradicts what was it Naughty Dog that said that they expect our games on PC? So yeah, like Naughty Dog came out and said like, yeah, we're going to be working in tandem PC in this, but now like PlayStation's coming out and saying, well, you know, don't expect day one on PC, and all this is kind of like almost like they're let's just take a step back from investing in all these other things and like just
Do what works.
and maybe they're going to get to a more of a profitable state on the hardware. You know what I mean? And that's going to be what they're going to. They're seeing they're selling like crazy still with the hardware, and they're going to just go with this old school approach more, you know, because I mean, I don't know what they're going to do if they keep chasing these, if they chase a lot of this live service stuff. Maybe they don't feel like that's what their fans really want, and
They saw a lot of their game sales and stuff were down. They're like, is it worth the risk of doing all these experimental projects and stuff when we can just sell what works, you know?
Yeah. They may
doesn't work.
Well, I mean, it hasn't been working for growing the user base, but like if they can get more of a profitable state on the hardware and just keep doubling down on these third parties and stuff, they're going to be still in a good place. Like they're not hurting, you know, they're not like, but they're not.
They just came out today. They're looking to invest more. They're trying to come up with money. So
I think,
Yeah, because they don't want to get left behind.
But that's still not enough. Like,
Yeah,
I've
for
seen
sure.
people say like, "Oh, now they could finally buy Take-Two." I'm like,
No.
guys,
no,
it's still not enough. To
Maybe-
buy.
maybe
Times
Square.
as much money.
Maybe
At
Square.
least.
Maybe Square, because I think
Square,
Take-Two
Ubisoft.
premium will be like
Ubisoft.
25 to 30 billion maybe
yeah,
to buy Take-Two, and they got 8 billion. Like it's still not enough to buy someone like Take-Two. Even if you start to do a plan like
they're not going to also blow $8 billion on one person.
No,
yeah, they're going to
That's
spread that
stupid.
out.
Yeah, they're
knowing
gonna spread
who they
that out.
are.
I think they maybe go for a push at Ubisoft because they're on the cheap. They're
I don't
hurting.
think anybody wants them. I think
I think that
I
they
think
will.
if Sony they would probably be the best ones because, well, one, you can now hand all the Assassin's Creed stuff over to Jade Raymond and her studio, or have
Oh.
whatever talent you want from the current studios working on Assassin's Creed under her fold. You could also take that Tom Clancy license both on the game side as well as on the TV and movie side. I mean, there would be lots of layoffs. They'd probably, do, I wouldn't say a complete clean house, but it would be a bargain. Like, I think their value is somewhere in the 2 billion range. They could pick them up for maybe 4, if that. And all of those licenses for Tom Clancy, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and then remake those. Yeah, that would be their best bang for buck as far as a publisher.
The only thing scary for it, if you're PlayStation, I think, would be the overhead that comes along with it.
Yeah, they're going to be like 6 times in the amount of employees they have. It's like, that's a big undertaking for them. It's just like,
well, that's why they're going to have slash a lot of positions, double positions, and
it'd be like 10,000 layoffs day one.
I don't know.
He has a ton of employees.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you close down entire studios after you just bought them, like, you have all that equipment that, like, you're either gonna have to move or sell to either get that money back, or you're just
fire
losing
sale.
money. So
I don't blame them for trying to get a publisher though, like, because like Microsoft is getting ABK, I think, and they're not going to be done either, right? So like the whole thing with like money having third-party games is only going to, you only have so much control over that for so long, right? So at some point, some of these publishers may not see as much benefit to it. If Microsoft's ecosystem keeps growing to as many devices that it is, and the user base keeps growing as well, because that matters a little bit more for like content, so it's going to be harder and harder and more expensive to money hat a lot of those third-party games eventually. So
people keep mentioning like them buying Square though, and I still don't see the benefit of them buying. Like Fuzzy just mentioned like a lot of good points of like,
you're right, because they just realized Square is so stupid to keep doing it the way they're doing it now, that it's like, well, we'll just keep taking advantage of those idiots.
Like today, they release a statement basically saying like, well, they just come to us with money, and they're basically bidding out their games. Essentially, is how they're philosophizing it. Like, we are going to bid out our games, and whoever wants to pay for exclusivity is the winner, essentially. And I'm like, that's such a weird way.
To think about. It's a very short-sighted way of thinking about business, because you're like taking the
money up.
It's like insurance for them. They're just like taking the safer route, but then they're never going to be happy with the end result.
I don't like. I see them maybe like topping at it like $1.5 billion for a purchase, because like I think when they bought Destiny, they had like 20 in the bank. Now they only have like, they get up to like 8 billion in the bank. So it's like, how much do you want to?
They had 8 before, but now they have another 8. So maybe it's 16.
16 now.
Is it 8?
I thought they only had 3 before.
Around 13 or so. With the new amount and the original, or what's left over. Well, they should be hovering around 13, but not all of that's going to be PlayStation, of course.
Yeah. So like, I don't see them like spending like too much of that percentage in one place. Like, I think they're going to still like branch out, like to do with like Insomniac, spend 300 million here, 100 million there, and just like get up a bunch of smaller studios.
Well, if they do Ubisoft, they can sell those IPs. Look at what they did with Tomb Raider. Just the IP, not studios, not people. But if you try to, instead of like firing these people, hey, you want some of this talent? Here's some
so
IPs.
It can go to the Sony graveyard of IPs.
Well, that's what they do best. But then they could put the extra level of quality in the Assassin's Creed that is known for what Sony does. And then they could work on Tom Clancy stuff. If they don't do a SOCOM, they got Splinter Cell. What bigger fuck you to Microsoft is than having Splinter Cell exclusive to PlayStation?
Well, for the Clancy stuff, they got to keep all the talent at Ubisoft, because they ain't about anybody at Sony that knows how to make any shooters, really, besides Bungie. And they don't know how to make tactical shooters, right?
Well, they'll keep Massive.
Keep Red Storm and Massive. The other side studios.
Ubisoft Montreal is really talented at that stuff too. Like, you got Far Cry, it's Ubisoft too. You got, I don't know. I think if you were to acquire Ubisoft, you were to do it just as much for the IPs and the talent, but like you would have to try and fix the management issues that are the publisher.
Yeah.
Like, and you got to trim it down. You got to like streamline it. And
Also, Ubisoft has places all over the fucking globe. Like, it's such
Yeah.
a huge undertaking to get Ubisoft.
and you got to cancel like all their fucking like service things they're trying to work on right now if you're PlayStation, because they're just
And
like
you gotta
wasting
outbid
money.
Tencent as well because they own like 11% of Ubisoft, so you would have to talk to Tencent as well. And I don't know, it'd be
Yeah.
kind of an undertaking for sure.
Ubisoft would be insane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see that. I see more of like going and picking and choosing and like some maybe a smaller
what they've
publisher.
been doing.
But like there could be room in there for a publisher. I just don't think one of, because like Ubisoft sounds smaller in size because of the market share right now. But
That's just because they're not making money.
it's just because they're like, yeah, they're shit right now, right? So, I think ultimately like it's a bigger undertaking to acquire a Ubisoft if you're like a Sony, right?
Is Assassin's Creed game coming out this year? So maybe that
Supposed
could be
to.
a
Mirage.
showcase.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be there.
Oh, well, there's
Skull and Bones is
Ubisoft.
supposed to come out too, but where's
Yeah,
that?
Ubisoft Forward is on the 12th. So
Don't they usually show like stuff at other showcases like a Sony or Xbox?
They
and
do,
then they
but-
also show it.
they
I know-
equally split between the Xbox and PlayStation. It seems like, so it's hard to guess.
I know
like,
Keeley said that he has like 4 big games at least today. So, whatever that means.
4 big games at the PlayStation show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or-
at the Keeley show. Sorry,
Yeah.
same thing. Same thing.
He probably has Star Wars.
Maybe. Yeah, there'll be something Star Wars at Keeley's. Yeah, that's a safe bet. Yeah, I don't know what PlayStation's gonna do, but I do think they're kind of stepping back from their whole 10 live service game thing they were pushing before. I think that seeing the development on it isn't what they like had hoped, and it's expensive, and like they trying to figure it out, and they have all these different projects, and I think maybe now they have Bungie as well. They're like, we're just gonna kind of like count on that, and then maybe do 1 or 2 other ones, right? I think they're gonna count on Factions, Bungie's game,
They want to go down the Ubisoft trap.
and then and then maybe like another one that they can kind of safely, maybe like the Horizon one, maybe a couple others. I don't know, but they did also say that they want to have a live service game for all of their big IPs also. So I don't know, maybe some of these smaller games they had been kind of experimenting with what's getting the can. Then there was rumors of Helldivers 2, right? That they could be kind of like a live servicey type game as well, and that was a successful game on PS4. That's like one of my favorite PS4 games. Period. It's like one of the only good multiplayer games. It's a PlayStation exclusive for co-op and stuff. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of possibilities where to go with PlayStation, but it's going to be interesting to see what's shown at this showcase. And I think it'll give us an inclination of where they're going in the future. I shout out to John TJ with a $5 super chat. It says Microsoft should buy Take-Two, Sony buy Square Enix, and Embracer buys Ubisoft, and EA and Sega merge. I don't think Embracer's buying anybody else big for a little bit, because they just had their financials and stuff come out, and like or sales reports of a game, and they just plummeted 20% like in one day. Like that was pretty significant.
Who do they own? They own Tomb Raider. I know they own a lot.
They own Lord of the
Lord of the
Rings
Rings.
now too, yeah. And lots of studios. They own Gearbox, so they own Borderlands.
Is that Gollum game from them?
It would have to be some kind of license deal, probably. I think
yeah.
if it's
Okay.
not made by them.
They made
think
Dead
they
Island
could-
2.
I think they could probably make up that 20% by selling Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal over to
So
Microsoft.
just pass that studio to other studio.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to
They paid 300 mil, but how about 3
They
billion?
they own Dark Horse, so they have a lot of like kind of bigger IPs like Hellboy and stuff, but they're not relevant anymore. We haven't really seen much out of them anymore. So
Mm.
This whole Aliens franchise, is that Embracer?
no, that's Universal, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if they still have a deal with Sega or not for Aliens, but they previously did. Who's making the Aliens Dark Descent game? Who's the publisher on that?
Focus, maybe,
Oh,
Focus
Focus
Interactive?
Interactive.
maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Interesting. All right. Well,
It is yeah, it's Focus.
Well,
Yes.
that was the this was the PlayStation Showcase speculation segment prediction time. I think we all came up with some good stuff and very different. I think we all had some hopes and dreams in there. I heard
Someone said Aliens is Disney, so.
There's definitely gonna be some
because it was
surprises
Fox
in the third.
Oh yeah, and they bought that.
Yeah.
One last thing before we move from the showcase.
Okay.
Do we think any hardware is going to be there?
Oh, and maybe that. Well, I don't know. Think that like weird controller things would be there, but maybe the PS5 Slim could be there.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be later this year.
Did their like disability controller come out yet?
No, not that. Not the disability controller. The one with the screen on it. Like remember the one that was leaked that has like a screen that you're gonna be able to take it around your house or whatever. You know.
Maybe end the show with the PS5 Slim.
I hope they have no more than 10 minutes on PSVR 2. Like
I feel like it'll be at least 10 minutes.
You know they gotta have at least 5. Come on.
Because look, this is my theory. A lot of the show will be third party, right? There'll be a lot of third parties in there. You don't know whether it'll be exclusive or not because of the way they usually do their showcase. You have no idea. You're just like, you see it, you think it's exclusive, you look it up. It's either exclusive or it's not exclusive. Then you'll have the
wait 3 days, make sure there's no exclusive contract bullshit where you can't.
You have to wait a couple of days and it's like, oh no, we're multiplat. And like, why didn't you just, I don't know. It's the way they do the showcase. And so you'll have a lot of third parties in there. I bet you at least 10. I could just see maybe 10 is too much. Maybe like at least 5.
I thought about this. Red Monkey Butt said Sunset Overdrive 2, PS5 exclusive. Bet me. Well, if it gets announced, it'll be a PlayStation exclusive. However,
that's gonna hurt.
That I think it'd be really cool, and I think one of y'all said Sunset 2. I think, as Fuzzy I think said another Insomniac game, right?
I said 3.
Was
it you, Jasper? Okay, yeah. And then I was like, maybe it could be Sunset 2. But like, here's the thing: is like, I don't think they would do. Honestly, maybe Drew Murray went there because of that. But in the back of my mind, the reason I wouldn't make it a prediction of mine is because they have.
I didn't say Sunset. I just said
I know.
Game.
Yeah, but that I'm answering to Red Monkey Butt's prediction. The reason I wouldn't actually make it a prediction is because they already have Spider-Man, and like Sunset kind of like is the same genre in a way. Like I know it's not superhero, but it's like an open world game.
Maybe 5 minutes of Spider-Man gameplay, or no?
5 minutes of gameplay.
I mean, you just swing around. You've seen that for 3 years.
No,
now.
I think you're gonna get a fancy trailer that's gonna be like 3 minutes long.
Yeah,
3.5 minutes long, and it'll be kind of like the Miles Morales trailer that we got that was like really had all the effects.
So they showed like a kind of a demo. That's what I'm thinking. Like in that Miles Morales, they showed like him swinging. He went on the bridge.
The game Miles Morales does not look like that trailer.
I think it will be like a gameplay like story trailer where you like see some story elements and it cuts to gameplay for a minute or two and it goes back to like cutscene stuff.
Miles Morales in no way looks like that trailer.
What, the new Spider-Man 2?
No, the Spider-Man Miles Morales, the amazing trailer everybody freaked out over on the bridge. You remember the bridge gameplay trailer? Mm-hmm. Miles Morales.
Took away your puddles?
It looks more like the first Spider-Man. There's not as big of a leap. I mean, there's some electric effects and stuff like that. Yeah, they just had
snow everywhere.
It's like it doesn't look like that trailer. And that trailer was like a benchmark that they never could have obtained.
It's so weird that like a lot of people were saying they didn't downgrade it, but certain things they did. I still think they've
downgraded Ratchet and Clank too.
They definitely did. But like still to this day, I would say Insomniac has the best form of ray tracing I've seen. So I will give them props for that. We'll see.
Because you're Spider-Man, you're literally standing on a fucking glass building. It's just it's just a big ass mirror in the sky. That's what it is. They've been doing that in games for forever.
I want to
don't
be
know. I
able
won't
to
give it too
go
much
and
credit.
there's certain expectation I have for Spider-Man 2 because I'm tired of Sony just like having the base game and then like expanding upon it and not doing much. I really want them to at least my base expectation for Spider-Man 2 is to at least have you be able to go across the bridge in Brooklyn. Like you can't go to I believe it's Brooklyn. Like there's like a invisible wall when you walk across the bridge, and it's like go back, turn back. Like if this is the second game and you're expanding upon it,
Third game.
sure. Better not. Let me go to Brooklyn. That's my thing. If this is the sequel means I'm expecting more than the first game. You are in New York, right? So being in New York means you don't really have to redo New York. You already did New York, so expand upon New York.
Yeah, but this one has Venom in it.
In New York City.
Oh man, freaking Venom and no co-op. That's another conversation.
Yeah,
unless you guys want to talk about
the co-op situation, like we can touch on it. Like they've said for a long time it's not going to have co-op.
I know, but it's just
I think it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity 100%. It is. I feel like that would be the biggest selling point of this game for people to be both Spider-Mans and team up with your buddy.
If anything, I think it's more like GTA 5 where you can like switch between different Spider-Mans.
That's what
certain.
Yeah, that would be sick. That's kind of what I was thinking they go like you switch at any time, and then
maybe not even any time, just like you do one mission as Peter, one mission as Miles, stuff like that.
At the end of the game, after you beat the game, you'd be able to use Venom.
Yeah, or I don't know about that.
I don't think they'll go. I don't think they'll let you play as Venom.
What about if you? What about if you become symbiote Spider-Man during the game?
That'll be pretty sick. But
and then Miles has got to try and save Peter, or vice versa.
They'll probably do a thing where you switch between, but I just don't see them letting you play as Venom, for this fact that Venom eats people, and he causes wreckage. And
you're probably onto something there. Like I'm betting Peter or Miles or something probably gets Venom goo on him and becomes Spider Venom, and then you have to be the other Spider-Man and go save him.
I just hope we get Tobey Maguire emo Spider-Man walking down the street,
because that's kind of how the first game was. Like you had missions where you were Peter and Parker like as Spider-Man, and then you'd switch between like Miles, and then you switch between Mary Jane. So like you're probably just gonna have two Spider-Mans you switch between.
Yeah.
That's it's just like such a missed opportunity that Sony's like allergic to co-op and multiplayer in their games.
They probably can't hit the quality level they want and have a co-op game. That's probably what it is. I mean, they're probably like, well, we're gonna have to be tethered, and we're the city's gonna look like shit in co-op.
But what's weird to me is just like the response to it, like yeah, great, this is great news. I'm like, how? Like you could still have your single player experience, but just being able to have two Spider-Man swing through the city is such a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
it's just especially the fact that the story is focusing on two different Spider-Man.
You could imagine having fun, like just shooting your web at each other, like you just fucking around with each other. Like that'd be amazing.
If you want to play Spider-Man co-op, go play Fortnite and buy your skins. You can have. There's a bunch of different Spider-Mans you can play in that game.
that interaction in that tweet where they said I forget who it was, asked if it was going to have co-op, and Insomniac's like no, and I was like, man, I mean this game screamed co-op because you had two Spider-Mans, and they're like, what do they say, you were over something that I was too
you set your expectations too high or something like that.
Yeah. I'm like, how did I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, when I see the two Spider-Mans versus Venom, I think that okay, we're gonna have possibly a co-op. I'm and again, even though they came out and said that, there is still a lot of PlayStation content creators hoping that it would, and but truthfully, I mean, that would have been so cool, being able to swing through
It would
New York
differentiate
City.
the first two games, like that
Yeah,
and Miles
exactly.
Morales.
And that's
Like, what's
what
the big
you
difference?
makes it
Venom.
fresh, makes it different. Having Venom, it does not do that. All that does is like, oh look, there's one, like, is that the only bad guy? Are they gonna have other? Are they gonna have other people in this now? You know what I mean? Like, are they? Is this? I don't know how they're going to make this not feel like
They'll probably have like
a
Venom
DLC.
is like starts out as like just like some goo sample, like how he always does, and some scientists like maybe Lizard studying him, and he's like, then you have to fight Lizard and Venom at the end of the game or some stupid shit like that.
I don't know, because I mean, how Venom came to be was because the symbiote came to Earth, attached himself to Peter Parker. Peter Parker went to the church house, rang the bell to get the symbiote off him, and Eddie Brock was in that that church for some reason.
I don't think this is
And
the origin, right? Or is this the origin?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out Wednesday if it's an origin story or not. Because if it's an origin story, then it's like, how are you going to have Venom before the symbiote Spider-Man? I mean, that's what I don't get. They're
I hope
just
they go darker
missing.
with it.
They
sure.
missed the whole friggin' plot line if that's where they go. Unless that's DLC, where the origin of Spider, how the symbiote came to be. But I don't know. It just an opportunity to have co-op in this game was it was a little bit of a letdown with them doubling down that it's not happening. Because again, it would have felt fresh. It would have been different. It wouldn't have felt like it's, because if we're still in fucking New York City, but there's
That's where I thought
this
like
will
maybe
piss-
they could expand it. 'cause
this
the
will
same
piss
map-
me off. 3-bit. This will totally piss me off. Like, I will not buy it regardless if it's on sale.
This may be like out there, but like, what if Insomniac's setting up like a Marvel game universe, and like you have like a mission where you go and be like, Peter Parker's trying to figure out what Venom is, and he's like, is he a mutant? So he goes talks to Wolverine, and it kind of teases like part of the Wolverine game.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, like a cameo from Wolverine in this,
Yeah.
and maybe even a little storyline that kicks off Wolverine's game. Like that would
If
be
that's
pretty
the case,
sick.
then that would be pretty sick, and
Yeah.
maybe that will caveat. Maybe this will give them an opportunity to make Venom darker and him actually eat people, because that's what he does. I don't see that happening in the current Insomniac games, but if they're bringing Wolverine, which is supposed to be M-rated, supposed to be really dark, then that'd be a good caveat to do that. So, yeah, that's a good idea.
But I don't know how they're gonna how that Spider-Man really wasn't in Wolverine wasn't in Spider-Man's universe per se.
Well, we don't know that. They could always add him in there.
Yeah, but how? I mean, if you're trying to go, the Marvel fans will be like, "Where the fuck does this ever happen?" You know what I mean? They get
the one thing I'll say that though is like this is Insomniac's own version of Marvel, right? So it's
it's not like
it's their
the
own
comic book
universe.
version. It's not the
they're
movie
making
version.
their own story, So like even with like the story they've told so far within Spider-Man is unique to them, right? So like it's possible they could do whatever the hell they want, grow it however they want, like. But I get what you're saying. There's always the Marvel heads that like I want everything like the comics or like some of the movies that we've seen before. But
this is going to be stamped with Marvel this time, because I think they said they're behind it. So if Marvel's going to be involved, they kind of want to have coherency within the comics. That's a thing that Marvel
do they?
Because
Because they don't do that with the movies.
I don't think so. I mean, they
said
do.
with their games, it's not connected.
They let 2K like make their own character, even with Midnight Suns. You know what I mean? Like, and listening to the Iron Lords the other day, they had the I forget the name of him, but like he was the main guy behind Midnight Suns, and he said like Marvel came to them first, right? And then he like they were fans of XCOM, right? And he kind of pitched some ideas to them, and he just wanted to test the waters and see if they would let him make his own character, and they were like, yeah, that's fine, but they worked with him on everything, but like they allowed him a lot of freedom, and even that storyline makes Max like Wolverine was there with the Midnight Suns, right? Like, you have all these different characters. He got to kind of pick who he wanted to be in this story and tell their own story. And like Spider-Man within the Marvel games with Insomniac, they're telling their own Spider-Man story. It's not taken from comics. It's not taken from the movies, and they're doing their own Wolverine game too. So it's going to have its own kind of story. I just don't know if it's got to follow anything else like at all.
The thing is that Wolverine is in Alberta, Canada. How is it?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean Spider-Man can't take a plane trip or Wolverine can't take a plane trip.
Wolverine's
how is that going to tie in the game though? That's the thing.
But Wolverine travels all the time. Like he's like a traveler.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy creative decision solution that we would have to play the game to find out.
Logan decides to go to New York for some R&R. Some sightseeing,
or maybe Wolverine's hunting down some shit. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe maybe he's chasing Sabretooth. That's the most easiest thing they could say. Sabretooth went to New York to do something.
Maybe Red Omega. Maybe
that's a easy thing to write in. Like so,
I don't know. It's easy, bro.
Oh,
it's not
you
that
just make
easy.
up your story. Like how many?
Then it's dog shit.
I mean, Wolverine's been in the fucking New York and probably in all the X-Men movies and shit. Like Wolverine goes everywhere. Like
Spider-Man went to fucking space in Avengers, and you saying he can't fucking leave New York?
Why? That's such a I don't understand. Like, it's so easy to make up a reason that Wolverine could be in New York. Like, I don't know. Maybe he had to meet somebody there.
It doesn't fit his MO, man. We're just hunting down the Incredible Hulk.
The Statue of Liberty.
Well, this like, where is this in Wolverine's storyline? I mean, like all these different things. It's like Wolverine could be in New York for a million different reasons. He could be lying low right now as a cabbie, like trying to stay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to get some badges on the weekend. You never know.
Logan. I'm your fucking taxi driver. I'm your Uber driver.
Miles Morales, I remember they were saying that Peter Parker was traveling to another place, so that could be a interesting tie-in.
Maybe Miles meets him.
Yeah, there ain't many places to swing your.
Miles is not allowed to go out of
swing
the city.
in the wilderness.
He's grounded.
He's grounded. Miles is grounded. He's not old enough to be going out of New York.
And Mia Kumara says, "Listen, Wolverine will never come to New York. This can't happen. There's got to be some solid 100% comic-based reason for Wolverine to be in New York."
I just think it'd be weird to have him in New York. And not.
I mean, he has to if they're going to meet each other because Spider-Man is not going to be swinging in the middle.
Unless he goes upstate. Unless he goes upstate New York, and Wolverine is on the run from Strider.
Wasn't in the Spider-Man the 2018 game? Wasn't the raft just in New York Harbor?
The raft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the movies, it's in the middle of the fucking ocean. So they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, well, that's why Spider-Man's not that great of a game.
I'm
just saying.
No, here's the thing. I like Spider-Man,
I don't understand.
I have expectations for the second one because Spider-Man. I'm just thinking of the Sony thing where they're taking God of War, for example, God of War, and then God of War Ragnarok, where they expand certain things and other things are that's exactly the same. Spider-Man 1 and 2, I'm expecting something that's bigger than the first game, not DLC, not Miles Morales, which is pretty much the first game. This expanded story. I don't want just an expanded story. I want something that is.
I was just pitching a cool idea that Insomniac could do to really blow people's expectations of the game when they play it.
It's not going to blow my expectations.
Well, being that they have Wolverine game coming, that would be cool if they somehow were able to marry the two to give more tie in this universe. So expand it. Pull the MCU. You started with the MCU started it with Iron Man or Hulk, I guess, but then Iron Man, and then you take it to these other things. You know what I mean? But then they kind of cross over a little bit. It would be pretty cool if Insomniac did develop that. right?
Yeah.
And there's even hints that Hulk could be involved in the Wolverine game as well.
But apparently, you can't have Wolverine fucking New York. So shut the idea
But
down.
why would Hulk be in Canada? Oh my God! You know, it's like there's
He could be in
syrup.
upstate New York, and then that's why Wolverine is there, and they can do the whole Incredible Hulk 81.
so Wolverine travels and goes to other places that aren't woods and snow. That, like, I understand that in the comics, you know,
No,
he's kind of
he
hanging
has a
out in
flannel.
Canada and he's
He has
living,
to be
but
in
like
the woods.
he does in the history of Marvel and the comic books and in movies and the
That's Sony's
cartoons.
specialty, man.
Wolverine has kind of been in a lot of different places. So
Because
I
he's
would
a
say,
part of X-Men. He's not a part of X-Men right now. He's
aren't you
he's-
literally Wolverine in New York in Midnight Suns?
I don't know. Never played it.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Usually, when he goes to New York,
But
he's
that's-
usually with somebody else.
Yeah, Wolverine was in Japan and and he was in just in these movies. He's in.
Well, that's because
Canada.
he was in WW2 or WW1. Sorry.
What?
World War One. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
World War
it-
I.
that was World War Two.
in
Where
Japan.
yeah, it was. It was in World
Japan.
War
So I
Two.
was right.
Yeah, it was in World War Two, right? In that movie, maybe comics.
But he also
storyline
went
too.
back in the future.
Yeah, he
and
also
fight
went
samurai
current day.
robots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, he's been a lot of different places. I'm just saying, it's like
A
I don't-
weird line to draw.
I don't know where the line draws where he can't go to New York City. In fact, it's like
It's out of character.
in Days of Future Past, he's in like a city.
But
I don't know. I
he's
don't remember which city
a
it is.
part of
In
X-Men.
Wolverine Origins, he's part of the X Squad, and he's like in Africa and shit too. So it's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, New York is too much. It's too
yeah, that's like
But like
too many
no,
cars,
too many-
too much traffic. He can't be there. It's funny. man.
I don't know. I could see him kind of in New York. You know, he could be.
Yeah. Tokyo is literally like the biggest city in the world, and he was in Tokyo.
I don't want to fight robots and Wolverine. I swear, if I'm fighting robots and Wolverine, I'll
Yeah,
be so mad.
no, that's gonna be blood and gore and limbs and
No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
like, look, we're cutting off limbs, but
robots,
it's like a
wires,
robot arm.
and oil. That's it.
Oil.
No.
No
They
sparks.
better not. I do not want
Oh,
to.
we got so much more to cover. Oh my god, we've gotten so sidetracked with this. All right, we were supposed to give our top 5 games of all time,
Oh, we
and
still do
then
that.
and then we're gonna
Let's
get
do
into tidbits.
There's not much in tidbits. so-
My there's actually quite a bit. My
This
number,
is a lot.
my favorite game of all time is Wolverine Goes to New York. No. All right, so let's get started with. I guess we'll get started with Psycho to get that out of the way, so he doesn't derail the rest of the show later as well. So
Okay.
let's
No.
top 5 all time.
Top-
This is any generation, any genre, any game. You know, it could even be a mobile game. I don't care. You know, like what? Just top 5 games of all time.
All right. Now, these are no particular order. So my list starts off with the game that kind of revolutionized online gaming, which that will be Halo 2. That introduced online gaming to the masses. I know Dreamcast had online capabilities, but it wasn't as popular as when Halo 2 was launched and caught the fucking world ablaze. That is my all-time. That is my that is my number one. Then follow that would be Titanfall 2. That game is so underrated. That game came out at a time where it was in between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and it just
Got
did
story
not
mode.
get the love. It had, I think, the best story in a campaign in a very, very, very long time. So, with them saying, Respawn saying that they are looking to, they're working on Titanfall 3, but it's not going to be right now, gives me, just puts a smile on my face. My next pick, Skies of Arcadia. One of the best RPGs on Dreamcast. If you have not played it, I think there's a GameCube version where you can emulate it. Great freaking game. Love to see either a remastered, or kind of like what is that?
Suikoden. Yeah.
So, how they're doing their remaster. I would like to see them kind of go that route. That'd be nice. And then this goes back to PS1 with Breath of Fire 4. That game is, for me, was phenomenal. I wish
that game.
Breath of Fire. Oh my god, dude! Capcom made it fucking phenomenal.
It's like JRPG.
So fucking good. Like the main character morphs into a dragon, so you have extra abilities, and it's just story is phenomenal. It's just really great. Now my next one, is like I said, is little, is if I can't use it, I have another pick, but it is the Diablo 4. That beta is fucking amazing. I know I haven't
already
played
one of your favorite
game.
games of all time. It's not even out yet. Wow.
The fucking beta was that fucking good.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. And if I can't use it, then it's gonna be oh, what the fuck? Chrono Trigger. And that's if I can use Diablo.
Got a couple
So
JRPGs in there. Nice.
Oh, I love JRPGs.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll eventually release more on Xbox.
If they pay for them, I guess.
All right. What about you, Fuzz?
Mine's is kind of all over the place, but it's more recent games.
Okay.
First one, and this it's kind of in order to some extent. The first one is going to be NASCAR Racing 2003. Being a racing fan and being a NASCAR fan, that game on PC was one of the easier moddable games that's still being played to this day. Although I wish I had a way to, download the zip file or the zip drive to my current PC. I got to figure out the wires and whatnot. But that game, I spent so many hours creating driver lists, setting up the AI based on the real driver's stats and whatnot, and learned how to mod the AI driving lines and reskin the three-dimensional objects on track and update the logos and paint the cars. Like that was, and to this day, it's still my favorite racing game in general. Next one on the list. Well, I wrote it down in wrong order, but I'll say the next one I spent a ton of hours in, and that would be Division 1. You could say the Division series as a whole, but I mean, there's only 2, but Division 1 more so than Division 2. Like the mechanics of Division 2 are great, but the atmosphere and like just remembering the Dark Zone, the early days, and then after 1.4, that was like peak Division for me as far as playing that game. Like the first one still has a special place in my heart, but
yeah,
I kind of wish there was a way to blend the two, like have seasons in 2, and so it's not always snowy, but the snow in Division 1 really made that game, and just the quietness of the environment and the Dark Zone and whatnot. That was my one of my favorite games to this day as well. Next one on the list. This one kind of caught me by surprise because I've never really been like a roguelike player, but Hades. And I'm really looking forward to Hades 2. But
nice.
Hades was that game that I never expected to like catch me, kind of thing.
It's so addicting, Fuzz.
Yeah, like I can't wait for 2, but I never expected that game to catch my attention. Try different builds, get lucky, get an overpowered build, beat your father, I guess multiple times or die multiple times, and try to power up some of the stuff through the mirror and whatnot. I mean, I haven't played it in a little bit. I haven't played it at all this year, but man, when that thing hit Game Pass, like from the day it hit Game Pass up until probably late last year, it was at least like once every other day, if not every day type of thing, even if it's just for like one quick run or one more run kind of thing.
Yeah.
Another game, I guess this would be number 4 at this point. And this one's going to probably sound weird, but being a big Grand Theft Auto fan, although there's 2 that I haven't played, or there's one main one I haven't played, which was San Andreas. But as much as that one had like features that I wished other games had, as far as like open world, like even like Saints Row, I wish had. Well, actually, some of the Saints Row stuff was in San Andreas, but I would say Grand Theft Auto 5. And the only thing that would make that more of a perfect game for me is if you could do 3-player co-op from start. So like have it where each person picks one of the main characters and then play through the whole game. That would be about the only additional thing I would like to see. And to me, then that would be the perfect game. Just for the open world stuff that, like, even on PC, you could role play, playing the cop or delivery driver. I mean, you could always, play as a cab driver or just, a regular car thief or terrorist or whatever you want to do in that game, you can do. It's the ultimate sandbox as far as I'm concerned.
Nice.
So that's my number 4. And then last on the list is an oldie but a goodie for me. It's kind of my, I would say, my RTS style that I prefer, or a game in that genre that I prefer, and that's the original Homeworld. Homeworld 2 had a lot of nice upgrades, but the original Homeworld, where basically you are this last ditch effort of whatever race or species you are, and you have this ship and you can create new ships, like a whole fleet from your main ship to kind of protect against like either pirates or other entities out there and stuff. And even back then it was like, oh, let's see how far I could push this my PC. It was like a Pentium 4 with a Voodoo card at the time, which was like top notch.
Pentium 4 processor.
Yeah. And it would be like 900 like enemy ships on the screen, and it's like 2 frames, or 2 frames a second type of thing at that point. But like normal play, where you got like maybe somewhere between 60 or 90 ships between you and your enemy you're fighting. It was, I want to say, on that Pentium 4 back then, it was still, like it was probably like 60 or 70 frames. Like I don't think there was like hard lock frames. It was just pretty much things ran at whatever number your computer could handle.
Homeworld had like those 2 modes where you could switch to like the graph view and see everything. It would like run better, and then you had like switch to like the actual camera view of like the ships.
Yeah, but that game, I honestly, I know that there's a Homeworld 3 that either just recently came out on PC or is coming out soon. I haven't picked it up for my PC.
Was that the desert one?
I think so. It's.
I know they made one with like you were in the middle of the desert and you had cars and shit instead of being in space.
I think that one was like part of that remaster, resurgence, or emergence or something like that. I think. But nice. Those are my top 5. I know it's kind of a all over the place list, but some of those games are like the beginnings of what I mean. They've had sequels that are probably better, and more than likely Grand Theft Auto 6 will probably be better. Hopefully it's better. But those are my top 5.
6, that'll be cool.
The only fear I have with Grand Theft Auto 6 is what do you call it, NFTs. Like, if any game is to introduce them to the player base and it actually stick, they're probably the only ones that could probably do it. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want this house on the beach? Yeah, you have your beach house NFT, and yours is the only one in this instance, or every time you're in this instance, you're the only one
It's
at that house.
fancier microtransactions.
Yeah,
At that
like
point.
the ultimate microtransaction. That's the NFTs in Grand Theft Auto 6. Just wait for it.
Nice, dude.
Good list.
That's a great list. I didn't know you were into RTS at all, so I learned something today. 3-bit, it's your turn, man. These other lists are pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know, you're younger, so we're gonna see this generation gap, I think, show up here. Maybe so.
Let's see. So number one, I put Halo MCC, so it's kind of cheating. Just because like I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's a
decide
collection.
between like Halo 1 and 2. Like Halo 1 had a huge impact on my life. It's the reason why I got into the industry as an animator, because I wanted to do like fan art of like Master Chief, and I would paint it on my wall. Got better at art because of Halo, all this different stuff. So and then Halo 2 I thought had the best story. I loved how they handled the story in like Halo 2. So yeah, it was just hard for me to pick which Halo
Well,
to
I
go
mean,
with. So I just
to be fair, Master Chief Collection is a $60 game, so
yeah,
I think it should count.
yeah. So that's definitely in my top 5. The impact it had on online at the time, what Psycho was saying, the if you guys just go back and look at when Halo launched, it was like a moment in gaming history every time a Halo came out, and it was like
I rented
really
that
cool to
game.
be.
I rented Halo 1 3 times before I ever bought the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's definitely my top 5. Second one might surprise some people. Is actually Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid 2 is in my top 5. I beat that game
Wow.
several times.
You Kojima stan.
Yeah, I actually really like Kojima. The story in a Metal Gear game, like it may be hard to follow for some people, but it's still very unique. There's a lot intertwined with the game, like politics and like betrayals, and it has it all, especially in Metal Gear Solid 2. Some people at the time didn't like 2 because they didn't want
They didn't like
anyone else
having to play
besides Snake.
Raiden. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That
But
was
I
that
didn't
was a
mind it.
surprise for everybody. That was like, what? Oh, okay. Like, what's this?
Yeah, it was like a switcheroo around the
Mhm.
time, like what? And then I think a lot of people switched ship once they played Revengeance or whatever. They're like, oh, he's actually pretty cool. So that's number 2. 3, I was really close to picking GTA 5,
I was too.
but I can't realistically say GTA 5 knowing my hours in Bully. So Bully is on my list for number 3, just because I am obsessed with that game. I always wanted them to make a Bully 2. I don't know, it's just really fun, just like putting people in trash cans, going to classes. It's just a blast every time I played it, and I never get sick of the game. So when I think of my top 5, I think of games there I wanted to complete almost 100%. Like I go in the game, get every collectible, I do all that without ever getting bored. So that's 3. Number 4 would be Arkham Asylum, Batman.
Ooh,
I was
the
also
first
obsessed with that
Arkham
game.
game. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a pure Metroidvania game. A lot of people don't realize, you know, they haven't played it.
Yeah,
It's
the
I mean, it's third. It's
story.
like first person. I mean, not first. It's third person.
You didn't like
but it's
City better?
Metroidvania.
I was debating between City, but it was just like the impact it had on me. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a game like Arkham when it first came out. I was close to picking City because that game also was friggin' amazing. But Asylum, I can like quote the entire game, like exactly when Joker comes on the screen and everything. I got all the Riddler trophies in both Arkham games, but Asylum, I don't know, it had a little bit of more impact on me when it came out. The last one is actually Skyrim.
Mm.
Skyrim is a dangerous game for me to play because when I play it, I get absolutely lost in its world. Like there's so much to do. I always say the story in Skyrim where there's a mission where you can you find the sword in some cave, and the more innocent people you kill with this sword, the stronger it gets. So I like slaughtered whole villages and stuff. And not a lot of people encountered that mission. So it's like every time I talk to someone who's played Skyrim, they have a whole other experience. And that's why I feel like Starfield is going to be special, because if it's anything like Skyrim, it's going to be dangerous because I'm going to absolutely fall in love with that game. So that's my top 5. I did have runner-ups like Cyberpunk almost made the list, Witcher,
Same.
Mass Effect, GTA 5. Those games almost made the
There's
list.
so it's very hard to narrow things down to 5. You know,
Yeah,
there's
it's hard.
especially when you like a lot of different genres and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
All right, Jasper.
Yeah, a lot of different genres.
Yeah, so that's my list.
So the way I kind of came about it is I was trying to like the games that made my top 5 is games that I always go back to. I can go back to at any point in time. Like I was considering like most played games like Destiny and GTA 5 would be up there. Like they're still great games, but you just can't go back to them now. It's sometimes. So the ones I went to, I still play every couple years. Starting out with Halo 2.
That's
on everyone's list.
3 people here so far with Halo 2.
Yep. Then Battlefield 2, the OG Battlefield 2 back in the day. I used to play that shit all the time. I didn't even play online. I just played with bots. Even started modding that stuff back in the day. And then Age of Empires 2. Finally, I'm glad people get to play that game. I've been playing it for 20 years. Still play it. And then Star Wars Battlefront 2, the OG Battlefront 2.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah. I overheated the original Xbox playing that game.
Oh, really? That one didn't even have an overheat problem.
Yeah, I know. I just played it for like 20 hours straight and then woke up the next morning. Xbox never turned on. So we had to get like a little Allen wrench and like pop out the disk drive. Wow. And then this one was tough because I was trying to think of a game that's actually like had more impact on me, and that was Halo 3. I've met lifelong friends just playing that game, so like I kind of have to put that in there. Just like so many hours meeting new people that I still talk to today. It's like
Same.
It's got to be up there. Yeah, so that's my top 5.
Right on. That's a good list. Got 2 Halo games in there.
All shooters, multiple genres, right?
Yeah. The thing that like you talk about with Halo 3 is what happened for me with Halo 2. Like lifelong friends with that, you know what I mean? Like, so my turn. I had a hard ass time narrowing this down. I don't. Sometimes I have these ideas. I'm like, fuck, I should have made this like a top 20 list or something. You know, it's like impossible. But I'll put. You know, I've been consistent on this. My favorite game of all time is Halo 2. And not. I mean, I love the single player. I love the campaign, the story. You know, but like mainly, it is my favorite Halo story.
Yep.
I like the Arbiter. I love like Chief's story in there. I like everything about the story. But for me, the multiplayer was what really did it. I think it had the best maps. It had the most classic maps. It had most of the maps that we remember today as classic Halo maps were from Halo 2, right?
Exactly.
And they've been reiterated time and time again. The modes, they even had modes in it that they stopped putting in Halo games that were awesome back then. It had the best ranking system out of any Halo as well ever. That shit was brutal with the ranking system online.
It was.
What Psycho was saying about what it did for online gaming with matchmaking and all that kind of stuff, it really launched things and changed the game forever there. But more than that, even it like there was the first real big game like that on consoles to have like the stat tracking on a website and all that kind of stuff where you can like really deep dive into like you can see the maps, what happened on the matches with the heat maps, and you could like there was so much stuff, and I was like, it was way ahead of its time. Like stuff they don't even do in most games now.
Like I watched it with friends. They had the dual wield for the first time, and it was like, that was a big moment. Yeah.
Battle rifle was best in Halo 2. And that's my favorite gun still. And I think Halo 2 is the best Halo and will always be the best Halo, probably. So,
yep.
Besides that, moving on. This game held a place in my heart. I played it a lot. It was one of the first PC game I got into was Command and Conquer. But and that would be on this list. Like Red Alert 2 specifically would be on this list, but there's not enough spots. But after I started playing a little bit of PC games back when I was a teenager, I could barely run shit on this PC. But I got a game and it ran like shit on my PC.
RuneScape.
Nope. It was made by BioWare. It was not Baldur's Gate. It was Neverwinter Nights. I remember something about seeing a review for it or seeing like a trailer, even seeing the box and the design. I even got a little picture of the logo over there in the corner over there by that lamp. That one right there. I just loved it. Like it drew me in. I bought the game. It was like one of my first PC games that I bought, like that came out new. You know, I bought it. I installed it. I was like, holy shit! I was hooked. I did like the online servers with the role playing shit and all this stuff, and I played it for a long time. And it's one that I would go back to for a long time. It doesn't hold up now very well. So unlike your list now, Jasper, where you're like, you know, ones you can keep going back to. It's in this day and age now. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to go back to because it was one of the first 3D like CRPG type games, you know, and the graphics kind of feel a little clunky and you know some stuff there. But like, I still stand by this today. It still has my favorite skill tree in any CRPG to this day. The expansions that came out with it were amazing. Neverwinter Nights, all-time classic. If you haven't played it, you missed out back in the day. And it's something that you could only capture in that time, unfortunately. Next up, Final Fantasy Tactics. One of my all-time favorites. Like Tactics Glory. And this also has an amazing skill tree system. Like the job system in Final Fantasy Tactics is the best in any tactics game I've ever played. The story is excellent. The music is amazing. The maps are awesome. The secrets are incredible. Everything about Final Fantasy Tactics is like glory if you like strategy-based gaming. Like if you like a tactics-based style game, Final Fantasy Tactics is like the holy grail, right? And so I'm hoping there is a full-on treated like remake, remaster, something where they really put a lot of effort into it at that PlayStation show. Next up, this was very hard as well because I had to put Splinter Cell on this list. I see you guys put Metal Gear Solid 2 and stuff like that. It's fair. You know, I like Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. Splinter Cell shit all over Metal Gear for me, and I like Metal Gear. Splinter Cell is just a better game. I'll just say it. Better tactics, better gameplay, better gunplay, more badass, you know?
Yeah, but you can't get in a cardboard box, can you?
You have a story you can actually somewhat understand, you know? You know, but you can't.
I was about to say which one is still alive,
you can't do the splits on the wall and like snap a guy's neck from above him as he's walking down a hallway. Okay. So
yeah, which Splinter Cell?
That's the hard thing here, right? Because
you gotta
Chaos Theory.
There's no Splinter Cell collection. I was able to get away with it.
The de facto answer would be Chaos Theory, right? And Chaos Theory would be the number one because it had the co-op missions, the co-op campaign. You know, it had the single player campaign was the best single player campaign, and it really took Spies versus Mercs to the next level, right? To where it became like this amazing mode that we all love. However, it's not my favorite Splinter Cell game. In fact, my favorite Splinter Cell game is one that was disappointing to some, but it's my favorite Splinter Cell game for one very reason. It had the pinnacle of Spies versus Mercs gameplay in it. And what did with Chaos Theory, Double Agent was the extreme pinnacle of Spies versus Mercs, which is it's my favorite multiplayer mode in any game, period, ever. Spies versus Mercs. Yeah. And Double Agent was the epitome and the pinnacle of that experience. The servers sucked ass back then, but if you got in smooth matches and you got three good spies versus three good mercs, man, the quality of that gameplay, the cat and mouse and shit, that it was fire, dude. It was amazing. And Splinter Cell Double Agent had the best version of that, period. I miss it after Double Agent. They kind of went away from the classic Spies versus Mercs style game play. They didn't really live up to that in the other Splinter Cells after. So Double Agent, my favorite Splinter Cell game, so it made the list. And then my number 5, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I thought about putting that in there, but I don't know.
Red Dead Redemption 2 has my favorite story I've ever played in a video game. It has the most well-written story I've ever played in a video game. It has the most well-written character I've ever played in a video game. It had the most, like, it made me care the most about a character, like with like what happened next in any video game I've ever played. The detail in the world is just absolutely fucking amazing. I love westerns and stuff, and like they just nailed it. And then weirdly, it took me a while to get into the groove of the game because the controls are kind of like crappy at first.
Falling off your horse,
yeah,
into a
like
tree.
kept accidentally doing stupid shit. Like I would go into a bar and I'd accidentally punch a guy in the face when I'm just trying to talk to them, right? And then all of a sudden I got a bounty on me and I don't have any money or not, you know. So there was like a learning curve, but once it clicked, I was obsessed and hooked. And it's a shame, honestly, with how successful this game is, how little Rockstar puts into it compared to Grand Theft Auto. Like,
yeah, it only got 50 million players. It's a flop.
Fuck, it's like ridiculous. Every game would be dreaming of that. And like the Red Dead Online, they don't put as much effort into. They didn't give us any updates for 60 frames and all this kind of stuff. And like that game is just so amazing, dude. Like so amazing. Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's a shame.
And I hope to God there's a 3. You know, there needs to be, because there ain't enough games like that, or there's no games like that, really. So that's the top 5. I'll give it a couple of just honorable mentions real quick. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth 2 is my one of my favorite RTS games. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Super Mario 64 was a transformative game for me. I came when I saw that.
So transformative. It's the first time I came.
That game changed things for me. Like
it did.
I was like, you know, I was like 12, 13 years old. I didn't know what was going on. So I bought.
What's his goo?
I got the Super Mario 64, and it was transformative. It was like, holy shit, like 3D gaming. Like that was like the first experience, right? And I absolutely loved it, and like I was obsessed playing Mario 64. absolutely, man. So yeah, that was definitely up there. Then I'm gonna say another one that like a lot of people really like, cared about or loved. But this was like hit home for me as like a special game, was Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Yeah,
fucking amazing racing game. Like it was like it hit the thing about Tokyo Extreme Racer was like it came out at the right time for me with the interest that I had, and like it was like the epitome of that experience, you know what I mean? And like the gameplay was solid. It was just a fantastic game. I was on Dreamcast. But yeah, those are honorable mentions. So it's hard to have just 10. I could put 20 more games here and just run around. We could talk about them all. But like it's fucking crazy because we're getting new games every year now that are going to be people's favorite of all time. You know, and there's gaming is such
there's
a good
like
place.
Genres. Like if I were to get into specific like genres of games, there's games that I would put in top 5 for just like racing or FPS games, or
for sure. Or you could do by platform too.
Yeah.
You know, you top 5 PlayStation 1 games that you put, you know, 2 that you could do favorite Xbox 1, 360 games, or, you know, whatever. There's like so many different lists, and we'll probably do some more of these in the future. But top 5 all time. That's it. Now you know a little bit about us. I came.
Mario.
Chat. I don't know if you guys were looking. Chad had some really great answers in there tonight.
Yeah,
for
like
their
Duke just put BioShock,
Yeah.
Uncharted 2. That's great, great ones. Gears 2.
Yeah, Bioshock.
Gears 2 was amazing, actually. When it
Gears
came
2
out.
is great. Whole Gears franchise is fucking awesome. 4 was my least favorite.
Yeah, 5. That was the thing. Like 5 would have been was kind of a toss up. Actually, Breath of Fire 4 was a toss up between Gears and
I like
Breath
how
of
fluid
Fire.
5 feels though. 5 feels like super smooth.
Gears 2 is probably I don't know what's up with Xbox games and the sequels, but they're just straight fire. That introduced horde mode. It was just phenomenal. Story was so good. I mean, we learned about Dom's wife, really emotional. That was like the pinnacle of really great gaming experiences on Xbox.
Yeah.
On the 360. It was Gears 2. I mean, it still gets, playing through that game, it's just like, if they're doing like a Delta Squad remaster or Marcus Venus games like collection, that would be so fucking phenomenal because Gears 2 was just so good. Even Gears 3, that the story, even how it ended was good. It was, like that's a thing that with franchises, when you're trying to cap it off, it's really hard to do. And it felt like a really good send off note that kind of.
And then they shit on it when they bring it back for the fourth
Well,
one.
for like how they picked
the
picked
robots and all that shit. And
how they picked up the story was fine. 4 was, I liked where they were going with it. The robots, I guess it was like a new, instead
That's
of
gonna be
having
a problem with Wolverine.
I had just as much issue like for some reason like they started putting robots in all these Xbox games. Like fucking Halo had the Prometheans, and then like Gears they had the fucking robots. I'm like, give us some
robot
flesh to shoot. Come on.
Yeah, well, because that was the thing, is like locusts were supposedly dead, so now we have the spawn.
It was the years of the robots. Like you had the years of the zombies, you had the years of the robots.
And that's why they added the robots to give you something different. So it's like, oh look, it's the Locust 2.0 type deal. So that's why I believe they went with the robots. But it was a good send up story, and kind of like, ooh, what's up with Kate? What is she hiding? 5, just didn't like the story, man.
I thought 5 was the better one that they did.
4 is better.
Five's story was better, but I didn't like the open world of 5. Like 5's open world was pointless and like nothing there.
Yeah, like Halo Infinite's.
Halo Infinite's got more in its open world than Gears 5's did. You just like literally sailed around on the thing, and which looked pretty, but like just to get from point A to point B of like outskirt to outskirt.
That's part of Infinite's campaign, was like putting the AI on the back of your car and just having them be pretty OP and like sniping people. And
yeah,
that was pretty fun. But yeah, Gears 5's open world was kind of lifeless, but it looked pretty.
Yeah, it looked pretty. It's fun for a few minutes to ride on the thing. You're like, oh, cool, yay, I'm riding on sand. This is badass. Yeah, it's red and shit. But like, yeah, now I got to ride across this to go way the fuck over there, and that's all like I'm doing it for, is just to go over there. There's not much. Yeah, there's like sometimes one little thing you can go get off and go look for something, and there's like 3 guys to kill. Yay, that was exhilarating. Go get back on my fucking stupid sail thing and sail again for 20 minutes to get to where I need to go. Yeah, that was just
like they had snow. They had snow when you progress through the game.
It was like snow, and then sand was like the 2 environments.
Yeah,
you kind of drove your little sled on.
Arctic sledding.
Yeah, it's just, it would have been cool if it was like there was a point in it existing.
Get to different points faster than walking.
Well, but then you could just do it level based like the other Gears, and like you just kind of start at the missions and spend more time on making the missions better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It was something different. I guess they were kind of
Yeah.
getting away from they're trying to give you something, and I rather them take chances like that than give us the cookie cutter style games that are like, oh, this is what it is, and it's been the same way for that whole franchise, because now they can go back to it, so and people will be happy, like, oh cool, they went back to what we love, even though they were like, man, we want something a little bit different. So they gave
Well, if
us
they want to
something
go back to
different,
what you
and then they're
love,
like, no, we don't want this. So it's a good little. I mean,
they were getting there with 5, like the backstory of Kate and stuff, and how her mother was like part locust or whatever, and so she might be part locust and all that shit that's still unexplained.
only thing
and,
is
like,
the ending of
people
5. I
are
don't
not paid
really
that,
like
man.
how they did that
it's
because
been out for fucking 5 years.
It
it's
don't
like-
matter. I haven't played it yet or
It-
finished it.
for me, how they ended 5 takes away from the weight of the story because it splits off how the story could go from there, and it's like, what's the real choice?
they
What's
picked
the real
they
decision?
picked the ending or whatever. But
Yeah, I thought the ending, like, it made the decisions like kind of like,
It makes sense from a player perspective, like in the weight of the moment, but like
because
for
like
the
now you're like,
long term though, it doesn't.
can I trust Kate anymore? Like, do I have to keep an eye on her now? Like, as playing as JD, it's like, stuff like that.
Well, I'm talking about the end of 5. Like
Oh,
you make it.
well, we
you
won't,
make
we
it.
won't spoil.
Yeah, I don't want to
we won't
spoil, but
Psycho.
you got to make a
But-
decision, and like I'm saying, like depending on what decision you make, the story could go in a different direction from there on, and everybody's gonna make the other opposite decision. So like half the community picks one thing, half picks the other. So what's the real story is whatever they decide, not what you chose, right? Like unless they carry over your progress, but then not everybody's getting the same Gears story, right? Which kind of for me almost like I don't like in a Gears type game, I want there to be a overarching story that matches, not like, hey, you make your own story, right? Like it's a very narrative driven experience, right? So to split the community into 2 different directions right there, I think it's a cool thing for the weight of the moment and having to make that decision, but I don't think it's like good for the long term of the story.
Yeah, for sure. I think something that I liked about the original trilogy, like props to the coalition though, they like they're amazing developers and everything, but something I missed about the first 3 was how dark those games were, how brutal the world felt. And then as soon as the coalition stepped in, it did feel like a lot lighter of an experience. Like when you first someone mentioned in the comments, actually I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about when you first see like the general or some of the boss battles, it just felt like you were scared. You're like, oh my god. It just felt like a moment. And then
Gears Tactics actually did a pretty good job about opening that up. Like the opening cutscene of Gears Tactics, where like you're meeting with like the mayor or whatever of that city, and then like all of a sudden you just have like hammers of dawns all fucking around you. It's like crazy.
Yeah, Tactics. Yeah, I did forget about Tactics was actually an awesome game as well. So for if they make a Gears 6, I would like for them to like look back at the original trilogy and make it like really gruesome and dark again.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
we'll see.
Well, hey everybody. There's one last segment left here on this episode of FSP, and it is This is Tidbits, the segment on FSP where we look ahead at the games coming out for the week. And this is actually a pretty good list here. So we're going to get into them, starting with this game. It is called Inkbound, and it's releasing for $20 today. This is on PC. I've not heard of this before.
I think it's a roguelike or something.
Roguelike?
Yeah.
Okay. Some roguelikes I like, some I can't stand.
This one's probably going to be the latter half of that.
Probably so. Is this like this is like an indie game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the art style.
I haven't seen any gameplay yet, so
No. See, I thought this one was going to be on Game Pass as well, but I guess it might be eventually coming to PC Game Pass or something like that.
I think it says it's an early access.
Yeah.
It's like a Diablo-ish type game. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it looks kind of like a Hades style thing.
Dang, I wish they went with a 2D route, but like a top-down, not a 3D.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like things about the games like this, like I kind of, do y'all feel like we see a game like this like every week?
Yeah.
If not every week, every other week or so.
Is this what consoles is this on?
This right now it just says PC, but I don't know what else is coming to. Maybe more. It's like these games got to be special to really stand out when they're like this. It is kind of pretty with the actual gameplay, but
Good logo.
yeah, they do have a good logo.
Good font.
Yeah, good font. Yeah.
This next one is called After Us. It's on PS5, Series X and S, and PC, and it is $30, launching tomorrow, which is tomorrow is my sister's birthday.
Huh.
Hey, girl version of math.
Huh?
Said happy birthday, girl version of math.
Girl version of math.
This is the game where they had that like concert for that was on everything but Xbox, right?
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
right. It was revealed at the Game Awards, and they're like, "Stay tuned
Is this going to be the
After Us
indie
concert."
artsy
or whatever.
fartsy? Remember, Jasper
Yeah.
kept saying there's going to be an indie artsy fartsy game that gets nominated.
It could
Yeah,
be. This could
ain't
be
gonna-
one of them.
This ain't gonna be it.
You don't think
You
so?
think so? You think this is gonna be that good, Jasper?
I mean, depending on if like that little girl like dies at the end or something, like, and it makes people cry.
We'll see.
So, in order for this to be a good game, the girl has to die.
Yeah, it's got to make someone
Yeah.
cry at the end of it, and everyone's be like, "Oh my god, it's so emotional, it's so artsy fartsy," and then it'd be like Game of the Year.
This is published by Private Division. It said so. You know
Yeah.
they do a pretty good job with picking games to publish.
No, I think there's another indie game that's on this list that might
It says
Yeah.
Xbox.
nominate
Is this
it.
the same trailer?
But he just hasn't switched. I
Yeah,
don't think.
that was coming out on Xbox. Yeah, I said PS5, Xbox, and PC.
It's not going
this-
to be nominated.
This is Amnesia, The Bunker on PS4, Xbox One XS, and PC. $30.
Right now, it's just a preview. This is like the first level of the game. They haven't put out the full game yet. I don't
Right.
think.
Amnesia is a classic PC franchise now.
Yeah.
right? Like it's been on consoles for a little while.
Yeah, Amnesia is awesome. Like
I haven't played one. I don't love horror games. I get scared.
this is the new one.
It's all about the jump
Yeah.
scares.
Nice.
I did like
There's one Amnesia where you like cannot touch the floor. It like there's like something on the floor and it was like really creepy.
I did like
I know
the
the
setting.
fir-
It's like in a World War One bunker. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
cool.
The first two, like, I wasn't really interested in because it was more like just walking simulators trying to outrun whatever's chasing you. That one actually seems like you're doing stuff.
Yeah, it is very much a walking.
This next game is Bread and Fred on PC for $30.
Oh, Apogee. Why do they sound familiar? Isn't that like an older company? I might think it's someone else.
I know they retweeted my tweet when I was saying upcoming games.
Oh.
Or liked it.
Yeah,
Nice.
interesting platformer.
It's like the ice climbers, but penguins.
Yeah.
Is this co-op or are you soloing it?
It's
Oh
Probably
yeah, they
solo.
were basically ID software. That's why they sounded familiar. They were like the very first, like they were like 3D Realms and like ID Tech back in the day. Like ID Tech before they became ID Tech, they were published by Apogee. Fun fact.
Interesting.
Bread and Fred, penguins linked together.
Kind of like
Went
Twisted.
from Doom to this.
Red
Sometimes a
and
rock.
and sometimes a rock.
This is basically like a 2D version of the Unwrapped game, or what's it called? The Untangled, the something.
Oh yeah, Unraveled.
Unraveled.
This one is Convergence, a League of Legends story. It's releasing on everything. It's including Switch. It's $30.
A penguin would, HH. That's who.
So far, these trailers are well made. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
No font. The fonts are pretty decent.
Have we still seen a trailer as bad as that one Dragon Ball game trailer?
No.
No.
Not in a while, no.
I wonder what ever happened to that game.
It came out and
Flopped.
almost forgot about.
Yeah.
Probably already delisted.
God, you can really, you really start to get a feel for a well-made trailer though when we do this every week for real.
Yeah. You can differentiate. I'm interested in the League of Legends universe only because I watched Arcane and that was like one of the best anime depictions I've ever seen. So that makes me interested, but it looks decent. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I still need to see gameplay. I haven't seen any gameplay yet. If for games
Showing you he's on the
releasing,
rails.
we've seen it. Was there gameplay in this trailer?
Yeah, when
he was on the radar
sliding on
thing,
the
he was-
line,
Oh, okay.
that yellow line, I think.
What, for like 3 seconds? Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, yeah, that's that one. I don't even know what the game is. After the trailer though, farming
It's
simulator.
a side scroller.
So it is like a platformer, or
Kind of,
it's
yeah.
kind of like a platform.
this is farming simulator 23. Switch and mobile.
Yeah, this one is utilizing the new FSR.
I don't think it is on the Switch and on iOS and Android, but
Yeah.
No. Oh, is this not the console version?
no.
Well, the Switch
No.
one,
No.
yeah. It's like $45 on Switch and $8 on your cell phone.
Oh man, the cell phone version is going to probably kill the Switch version.
Probably. That's going to be an interesting comparison. That's what Digital Foundry should do. They should do a phone comparison versus
Usually the
Switch
phone games are like cut down though. They're like almost a completely different game.
Yeah, they might be like that.
That's true. Hey, those textures on the pig look pretty good.
I know when you see those ponies show up in here 3, but you want to jump on them, ride them.
I want to run away. That's the opposite. Never getting on a
Go
pony
3-bit. Let's do it.
again.
Next up,
All I did in Farming Simulator was just crash the tractors and try to jump random hills and shit.
next up is Miasma Chronicles. Miasma Chronicles. This is on PS5, Series X and S, and PC for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Looks interesting.
This one has a nice graphical style to it.
Poison said, "When's the single coming out?" That single already exists on our channel. It's called 3-Bit Pony.
Yeah, that's what we're referencing.
I
think this was before
Boom.
Poison joined. So
Boom.
Poison, check it out. Ooh, this looks cool.
Boom.
Yeah, I think it's the same team that did Mutant Year Zero or whatever the hell it was called.
Mm.
I like the way the powers look. That's sick.
Miasma. It looks like it does look like Control kind of.
It's a tactics game.
Oh, it's tactics.
Yeah.
Where's the gameplay?
There was a little bit of it in there.
There was some gameplay.
Was I looking away? for a second.
Probably.
I look away
Yeah,
for a
that-
second and I miss the gameplay.
That's what I was saying. Like I
has
like the way
a
they did the
wasteland
powers.
/ tactics kind of look to
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I might give that a try someday, but not for $50.
Well, their first game came to Game Pass, so that one probably will eventually. Too.
Yeah, $30. Planet of Lana. This game is getting rave reviews.
Yeah, this is another artsy fartsy game that will probably.
Yeah. It's getting a lot of 9s. I think it's like sitting at a mid 80s on Meta right now, but it's got a lot of 9s from a lot of critics, and people are really loving it. I think ACG actually like had some massive praise for it in his review as well.
Yeah.
Oh. It's on Game Pass.
It is Game Pass day one, and it's a Xbox exclusive.
Oh, is
did the kid die at the end of this game?
I don't know.
Probably.
Don't know.
Let's
But
get
you
that
can
game of the
pet the
year.
cat. Or
Oh, you can pet a cat.
alien
It's already
cat.
it's game of the year right now.
At least a timed exclusive. This is
Yeah, check this out.
who's the publisher on this?
Windful Games or something like that, I think. I think it's Windful.
Wishful. Wishfully. I've never heard of them. That's cool. Got some new developers coming up. They are a Swedish indie game studio.
Nice. Something Jasper's crazy excited about is Star Trek Resurgence. $40 on PS4, 5,
Everything,
Xbox One,
pretty
XS,
much.
and PC. Everything but the Switch.
Yep, I'll be streaming this game tomorrow at 11 o'clock because that's when it goes live. So check that out.
What would you compare this game to? Is it like a Telltale's type thing?
Yeah, it's like
or-
Telltale, Walking Dead, stuff like that.
Right.
I think it's part of the when Telltale broke apart, like they just went and made their own little studio and they did this.
Yeah. Graphics look vastly improved over most Telltale stuff. That's not saying a lot.
Something on
though.
her forehead.
Yeah. She's a Bajoran.
I know.
I almost wish they could make almost a Mass Effect level game for Star Trek.
Yeah,
Other than that free online one, which
Yeah, I will not be playing this. I'm sorry, Jasper.
that's okay. It's the best Star Trek game that's came out in like
Million years.
15 years.
Live long and prosper, my friend.
Yeah, I can only do it with one hand.
What kind of is this? What console?
How do you do his
Everything
like
but
death
his Switch.
grip? Is it just like that?
Yeah, it's just on your like neck there, or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's Star Trek Resurgence. Jasper's most anticipated game this year.
It's on Xbox. Let's go.
This next one is Hello Neighbors Search and Rescue on PSVR and PSVR 2. $30.
And 26 on Meta.
Yeah, a little bit cheaper on Meta. paying for the haptics on the PlayStation 10% more.
Is it person a kid?
Yeah, it's Hello Neighbor. You're a kid that breaks into the dude's house and he's like some weird dude.
I didn't think you were like 5.
You ever played Hello Neighbor?
Yeah, but he's like the size by the doorknob. He's like super
Maybe he's
short.
just a short kid and his growth spurt.
You're so height
Very
discriminatory, bro.
I'm just saying. I didn't know he was a kid. I thought for some reason he was like a 16-year-old or something.
How janky do you think this is going to be? Because like, what's one thing about the Hello Neighbor games is they're janky as fuck.
They be hiding how janky Hell Neighbor is, like in their trailers compared to the actual game. So
Yeah, it's a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
your kid hooked up on sugar snacks, so got the shakes.
Next up is the case of the Golden Idol for $18. Wait, no, I'm wrong.
Gotta get
You skipped
sorry.
one, yeah.
on.
Sorry, it's Marquette for $20 on the Switch. This is on the 25th. This looks like a. I can already tell this kind of looks like a what's the fucking game called?
Walking sim
It's a puzzle game.
Myst, that
Yeah.
style thing.
puzzles.
Right now, we're watching the PlayStation Showcase.
I can't think of the name of the game. It's like that one where you had to go up to all the signs and like draw lines and shit to connect everything, and like you solve puzzles around the world and like it made the world grow or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, that
That was
was
a PlayStation exclusive too, wasn't it?
Was it? It might have. I don't remember. It was made by like that the guy that made Braid.
Mm.
Was it Jonathan Blow or some shit like that? I can't remember
Yeah,
his-
it's something I think
Yeah.
it sounds familiar, but yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
like he had a falling out with Xbox back in the day or something. What was the name of that game?
Great.
No, not that. The puzzle game that he made that was pretty big. The game's fucking hard though, man.
Oh. Let me see.
I think it's like Jonathan Blow.
Yeah, that's his name.
Next up is the case of the Golden Idol on Switch.
The Witness.
The Witness.
Yeah, The Witness.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat.
It was me. Did the chat
Chat.
say it? Oh, the chat did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Prince Green, you win this time.
Did that end up coming to Xbox
Oh.
also?
I think so eventually.
Yeah.
Jonathan
Oh, yeah.
Blow.
I actually really want to play this game.
It's hard,
Looks
man.
like-
Like
Wait, the game you're watching or the game you looked
no,
up?
The Witness. Like I played it.
No,
and
it's not
it's
3-bit.
Yeah, I was like,
He said he wants to play it.
You want to play this?
Yeah. It
Okay.
reminds me of Coffee Talk. That's probably not going to be anything like Coffee Talk.
This doesn't look anything like Coffee Talk, bro.
It just reminds me of Coffee Talk. Okay, so the Golden Idol. Oh, it's available now.
Next up is Lord of the Rings Gollum. Oh, this game's finally coming out this week. This is releasing on PS4, 5, Xbox One XS, and PC. Some people are excited about this game. It's $60. It's coming out on Thursday, the 25th. Who out there is excited for Gollum? I know there's got to be a few of you.
I actually am. I know I've criticized it, and past 3-bit has criticized it for looking janky and looking outdated. This was past 3-bit, and I still think it looks kind of crinky and janky and outdated, but I still want to play it. I'm not gonna buy it, but I'll find a way.
Me
That's my review of this game. My precious.
My precious.
Rubik wants to play the Hobbits game.
The Hobbitses. The Hobbitses.
The Hobbitses.
That's 3-bit does a good one.
Yep.
The Hobbitses.
That's
Yeah,
still
looks
scary
interesting.
good.
He used to do like a Stitch impression, and it's pretty much just the same. It's pretty much the same.
Wait, does Stitch say English words? I thought he just made noises.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, Hannah means family.
Oh,
Family
okay. It's been
means
forever
no
since
one
I've seen that.
gets left behind or forgotten." You know, it's like the same.
Warhammer 40,000 bolt gun. Boomer shooter gameplay trailer. What's this type? This I don't even know what this is. This looks like an old school like Doom clone style
Yeah.
game. It's pretty cool. This is $22. Releasing on everything. Would you think ever release Warhammer Dark Tide on Xbox?
Yeah, maybe by the end of this year.
End of this
What the
year?
heck is this?
It's
Warhammer
already on
Bolt
PC
Gun.
now, right?
Yeah, it's been on PC. It's in PC Game
Warhammer?
Pass.
What?
Dark Tide, not this game. This game's Warhammer Bolt Gun.
But still, it's a Warhammer game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, it looks like a Duke Nukem / Doom clone.
Mm.
That's
Or
cool
maybe
that
more
they're
Duke
venturing out
Nukem than
in
Doom.
different, genres. That's pretty dope. I just didn't expect this to be a Warhammer game.
Warhammer does a bunch of different genres.
Yeah. I guess they do. I haven't really thought about it till now. But yeah, I guess that's true. Huh. Halo should take note. I want to see a third-person action-adventure Last of Us Halo game.
Bolt Gun. May 23rd.
That's pretty cool. I like it. Good logo
Yeah,
design.
cool looking art style.
Yeah, good stuff.
I bet the soundtrack kicks ass too.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like
Next,
evolution
last
of, like,
one, everybody. Railway Empire 2. Man, these Diablo
No, it's a
trailers.
Diablo
I know
trailer.
these Diablo trailers keep showing up on the ads. I need to get YouTube Premium again just so I don't have to see these ads anymore.
Diablo comes out in like a week, right? Or-
On the first
just,
is when it comes out if you buy the premium edition.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have to
that
sit and
marketing.
watch an ad. I'm glad it's a
You're
Diablo.
looking at a future Xbox game.
Railway Empire 2. Here we go. Everything. $50. But it's also in Game Pass.
You're ending on such a bad note. What is this trailer?
It's a simulator, train building game.
Yeah, you
train track.
connect trains to different cities across the world.
Yeah. Doesn't this look like
This is not
fire?
bad. Like, how fun can it be to manage trains?
How long does it take you to build and then crash the trains into each other?
That's basically.
I think it
what
depends
I
on
would
the
do.
user.
Fuzzy.
This looks really intricate and in depth, actually.
Looks more in depth than I thought it would be.
It has intuitive terrain adjustments. You know, we all know you like running
Oh.
trains 3-bits, so
Okay.
got to be careful.
Decent trailer, but I don't like the UI design. The logo is not bad, but the UI is kind of trash.
Well, that was it for the games. That was quite a few games. Some pretty good ones in there. Planet Alana. You had Gollum in there for people excited for that one.
Good
What
indie
else
week.
was- yeah, it was a good indie week. You had that After Us.
After Us.
They look pretty good. Couple gems in there. Bolt Gun looked like it could be fun. But that's it. Yeah, that's it for the games this week. We're gonna have the PlayStation Showcase. Maybe there'll be a shadow drop and there'll be another one to the list. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, right? We'll be here live covering the showcase from PlayStation when it's live. So come and tune in.
Wait, is that tomorrow?
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
What's it?
Well,
Okay.
technically tomorrow if it's after midnight for you.
Yeah, but we'll.
Oh man, the maintenance people will be in my house Wednesday.
Oh no!
Making new holes.
Just put out like a 12-pack of White Claw on the counter, and they'll have fun out of your hair.
Just be like,
Or just go make a couple more holes for them to fix. They'll keep busy.
Make some holes outside.
I'm trying to get them out of my house. You know?
Yeah, but that's it for the show this week, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. And again, like I said, we'll be live for the PlayStation Showcase. We'll be here Thursday for PM and the PM if I can manage to get Pong Soul off of his PC. You know, he can. You think he's gonna just double task PC gaming while he's podcasting now?
Does he have two
Probably.
monitors?
No, but he's got like I think a big monitor,
Oh, okay.
so he could just like box it, you know,
Yeah.
window mode. You know what he's gonna be like running shit at like 1,000 frames per second while he's podcasting, and you're gonna see Pong's face. He's got, like he does. It'll be amazing. Psycho, where can everybody find you, bro?
Every Monday, you find me here. Great show tonight, as always. I like the top 5 of all time. We need to do that again. Then you can find me Fridays. Well, actually, this Wednesday you'll find me doing the PlayStation Showcase. It's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
So come out and watch us and see what they show. See if our predictions came true. Who was right? Who was wrong? Like Jasper. And every Friday, Xbox Ultimate, where we have some great conversations.
We'll have to kind of go back and look at this and see what.
Man, I really
said.
hope Wolverine fucking appears in Spider-Man.
I swear to God.
But yeah, I don't think they would even show that in the trailer for Spider-Man.
Yeah, they
I
wouldn't
think that
show
would be
that.
in the
It'd be
game
like a
as
secret,
like a like, and I think it would just be like a story thing. They wouldn't even have Wolverine gameplay. It would just be like
yeah, you meet him for a split second
or something. Yeah. Fuzzy, where can everybody find you, sir?
Awesome being on here with you guys. Thanks to everybody that came out to watch us live and those who will catch us on replay. Greatly appreciate it. For those that like to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming, just follow me on Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on Breakfast with Boom, 10 a.m. on Double Barrel Gaming Friday morning. And then right back here for Xbox Ultimate at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday evening. Look forward to seeing you there.
Right on, bro. Appreciate you, Fuzz. 3-Bit, what about you, dude?
Well, all the stupid hopsitses can follow me on the Bootsies app, the i3-bit, right? So you guys can follow me on there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm on FSP every Mondays, so follow me on here, and we'll have a good time.
That's like
3-bit out.
How do you do that? That's like too good.
I don't know. You guys can follow me on there. My freaking throat feels weird.
You guys can follow me on there. Love y'all. 3-bit out.
Are you gonna
Can
have
you do Elmo?
How is it? Well,
It's it's pretty close. I figured you could probably do Elmo.
Yeah. Elmo song. Like that.
Yeah.
Why does he sound like Gurgi?
Like who?
What?
Gurgi?
Gurgi
From Black Cauldron?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
The little dog with the blue eyes? That's what he fucking sounds like. I can't get that out of my head now. 3-bit.
That's all good, Psycho.
Can you do your Q&A with 3-Bit entirely in Smeagol voice one day?
Does that like
I do
hurt
a
your
show
throat?
on Wednesday?
No, it's like a feeling. You know, I don't know how
It's
to
like a feeling.
describe it. It's like this weird
Feelings is.
feeling.
Is it a throat thing or a tongue
Feelings.
thing?
It's like a condensed throat thing.
Okay.
Like really, sometimes hard to get out of when like transition back to your.
Wow.
It's like I don't know. It's like I've squeezed my throat and then I don't know how to describe it. But
Just squeeze your throat.
Yes.
Like, guys, it's stuck. I can't stop.
Now I'm stuck.
I'm
I'm
gonna come.
Oh.
It's searching your map playing Mario 64. Watch out.
Mario 64. Yes.
Erotic asphyxiation. But we don't want to know how 3-Bit found out about that voice. Oh!
it's a secret.
Oh,
Shit. Jasper, if you don't come up with some voice, then you're pathetic.
I'll try the 3-bit thing. It's gonna sound terrible.
Hey, oh, good God! What was that?
I can't go that like
Echo the Dolphin?
I can't go that high.
I feel like somebody just stabbed my ear with glass.
I can't do that noise.
Try your
Anyway,
best.
yo, check it out. Or Jasper Twitter, Little Master Jasper YouTube, all that fun
Oh
stuff.
my
AI
God.
Game News Twitter. Tomorrow I'll be streaming Star Trek Resurgence on my YouTube channel, so check that out if you're interested in that stuff. And Monday, Friday, 10 o'clock, right here, Fun Speculation Network.
Okay. Appreciate you, bro. Everybody here, you rock. Man, we're gonna head out. Peace out, everybody. Take it easy. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Later.
Bye.